In ancient history, a war between the newly created races of Toril and the forces of Hell left humanity nearly extinct. In the post-cataclysmic world, humans placed themselves above all others, while races deemed undesirable watched from below. Ferox, a newly created race intertwined with beast and elf, were regarded to be even more monstrous and were forced into servitude. During the war, the gods and goddesses gifted unique arcane artifacts to those fighting against the Hells. These items turned the tides of war and brought forth brand new schools of magic in the form of the mage class. Alas, magic and hope fade from a world on the brink of destruction. Our hope now lends itself to a select and unlucky few.
Hello, all of you out there, and welcome back to the Unlucky Few. Alright, so as we get into tonight's adventures and fun story time goodness, any announcements that I'm missing before we start? Aside from the usual, this video will be on our YouTube page at 7 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday of this coming week, for anyone who misses it. Any other announcements that I'm missing?
We are level 3, so we're more exciting features.
True. Yeah. Everyone leveled up last session, so everyone has new exciting features, or in some cases, new exciting archetypes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're too. Wait, no, you have an archetype too now, don't you? And you have a pact feature.
Yes.
That's slightly less exciting, but still.
It's about to get dark.
It's about to get dark.
Yeah, you have to pick your pact.
Yes.
But you already have your patrons, so that's what I mean. Like, you don't have like it. Doesn't matter. Alright, so without any further ado, I suppose I will get right into the recap. So, where we last left off, the group was just coming out of the cave where they fought some unspeakable horrors, and aside from the unspeakable horrors, also some demons. They found a couple of interesting pieces of loot and were standing guard over the carts. It was, for the most part, a relatively uneventful trip back for the first day. There were some heartfelt conversations at night over watches. But then, during the second day of their travel, the group was ambushed in an open field, and by members, it would seem, of the guild, of which they have now made an enemy of, which is going to be very interesting as they come back into town and are now more or less lumped together by a criminal organization as general, if not threats yet, then interesting pieces in a political game. In a political game is the way that I will say that. They, after that, successfully got back to the town, were talking over with their employer, I suppose is the correct title, Darius, and he was just about to take them inside of the suites to discuss the finalization of their rewards. So I believe that is exactly where we left off last week, was it not?
We were sitting down getting drinks.
Perfect. And as the party sits down to get drinks with your two NPC friends you have sort of drug along on this mission, and Darius sitting there as well, we pick back up.
This is the part where we totally play Never Have I Ever drunk.
Listen, this isn't Scenario.
I mean, I'm down if you want.
Only if y'all are buying.
So
we get free drinks. That's part of our reward.
Is it?
At least mine is.
As it to say, Sandra walking by your table. Yes, it is part of the reward.
Free glass of water.
Very well.
Oh, thank you.
Anything else for any of you?
Wine.
Do I need to talk to you privately?
For what?
You gave me a weird look.
Maybe she has a
Like,
twitch.
out of character, she gave me a pointed look last time.
Oh yes. No,
Oh,
not
yes.
not quite yet. How pointy?
Alright, I'll be here.
As pointy as the elf
Seems-
ears.
Nothing for you then.
Mead.
I'm good with my wine, but you've already.
Fair enough.
Can we have food too, perhaps? I mean, I'm willing to pay. I don't know if that comes with it.
For your first day back, I'll say it's on the house.
Thank you.
Alright, she goes off. She grabs her drinks first, returns with all of them, and then goes to set off delivering her orders to the kitchen. So, Darius is sitting there with all of you. So, job well done. No one well. Two people died, but hey, one of them definitely had it coming. The other one, that's not going to be a fun talk with the family, but you play the game, you win some, you lose some. Kind of like awkwardly, it's just like, but yeah, other than that, job well done. Suppose your rewards are in order. He goes about passing out the 25 additional gold pieces to everybody.
Thank you.
All right. So that we're all square on the gold then. Yes, everything's good on that front. No one's talking. I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Yes, thank
I
you
mean-
very much.
There's that information you promised.
Information. If there's anything you'd like to know from me, would be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
You said you'd see if anyone had seen this man.
Oh yeah, I can certainly. Do you have more than one copy of that form?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. You'll take it. I can certainly ask wherever I go whether or not anyone has seen this man, and I'm back in Baldur's Gate often enough. If you stick around here, then I will be glad to report to you on that front. Aside from that, favors. I know a few people and can possibly get you a few things.
Didn't he mention something about the academy, or was it somebody else?
He may have. You gonna ask in character, or are you just gonna ask
Or-
Liz?
The one and the same.
We don't have to cash in our favor right now, do we?
Well, when I say favors, I mean I can pass information of your, well, now significantly more impressive, successful task doing to people who might enjoy hearing about that, who are in some places that you might otherwise, people may not hear of you. I have a few people that I know up at the Mage Academy that I could
Merchant's Guild?
sing your tidings to. I have a few friends in the Merchants Guild that I can. Actually, the Merchants Guild is the one where I do actually have a legitimate favor and like an IOU owed to me that I was just going to give to you, so they would owe you instead.
You as well mentioned someone on the council.
Yes, there is one of the 4 councilmen that I know, as well as their son. And he there's that was not an out of character pause. That was a very much in character. He kind of stumbles over his words for a second, processes, and then says that. Yes. So I can certainly talk you up to them, and maybe they request to meet with you. And if they do request to meet with you, well, then I have just given you an in to one of the 4 people who rule over the city of Baldur's Gate. So I feel like that's they might not necessarily owe you a favor, but just in being able to speak with them and kind of get your name out there, it gives you access to information, maybe gives you access to more lucrative jobs, access to a little bit more power in the city. So I feel like it's a fair trade. But yes, the IOU is starts digging through his finds a small card about this big. Yes. So aside from some basic goods that they might be able to supply you with, if any of you have been along the bridge leading into Baldur's Gate for any extended period of time, you've probably heard of this shop. You probably haven't. You haven't. You're new. You haven't. How much time have you two spent in the and kind of the Dust Town area of Baldur's Gate?
I'm sure he spent enough time there. I mean, he doesn't really go like to
Yeah,
any of the upper levels of the city.
It's the only place in not only the only place in Dusttown, but pretty much if you want any sort of general goods or even slightly magical goods, it's pretty much the only place in Baldur's Gate to go. In fact, for
he
anything
definitely would
slightly
have.
magical,
Especially since
pretty
he's
much
been
the only
there
place.
for like a lifetime, basically. Like
Yeah, it is on the bridge, like on the edge of Dusttown. Would Arwen have ever gone there?
Maybe. On the edge of Dusttown?
Yes, like on the bridge. There's like a bridge that extends over the river that like flows out into the harbor at Baldur's Gate.
That's probably where they would have started out.
Yeah, because like the shops kind of hang off the side there. It's like a really cool kind of feature. But he's yes, actually the largest store there, Zenim, as it is affectionately called. So aside from some general basic goods that they might be able to give you for free, it is Zenim. That was right. Yes. Aside from some general basic goods that they might be able to give you, there is also, they just got a new assortment of, call them exotic animals.
Define exotic.
not from here.
Not from here, but also ready for, well, you're aware how I hired you to protect my caravan.
Yes.
They would do very well in much that same job, if that makes sense.
Like guard dogs, but bigger and not dogs.
You call dogs
Yes.
exotic?
I said, but like bigger and not dogs. The same concept.
Of the same concept, yes. So, yeah, they promised. I helped them out of a sticky situation one time. They said that when they got the shipment in, they would owe me one of them. But I am giving you this card.
Thank you. I took it in my coat pocket.
So I figure,
Or
you
box
know.
it out of your coat pocket.
So I figure, you know, you are a group that, I don't know if you knew each other before this, but you certainly know each other now. You have certainly pissed off a couple people collectively as a group now. I figure, you know, giving you the chance to have something that might be able to, you know, scratch something or bite something might be a good choice.
So
I don't disagree with that.
That card's gonna give us a pet.
Yes, it's like an IOU of sorts for a favor that I have done for them.
Let's all
previously.
agree now we get a dragon.
As long as it doesn't have fur, I don't want to be covered in fur.
He just kind of laughs as you say that. Don't think there's many dragons around these parts anymore, unfortunately, my boy.
Do you really think we could take care of a dragon? No, I'm not looping myself in with you guys, but do you think you could take care of a dragon?
Probably. I would just have to look up a bit on it.
Guys,
Might
I
have to
have a
move out into the
dragon.
countryside and get whatever it breathes proof clothing. Hopefully not fire. Maybe a nice maybe
Bubbles?
maybe a worm.
Seeing how well you make a cover story, I would love to see you talk to a guard about owning a dragon.
Sorry about that, guys. Do you really think you can take care of a dragon?
I will just learn from books.
Can
Books
you-
good.
Can you even read, write, or say any type of draconic language?
I can read it.
You can read it.
Yes.
Can you speak it or write it?
How can you read it and not speak it?
I've learned. Listen, it's easier to read a language when you're first learning it than to
It's true.
speak it. See, Kai knows.
Can you read this then? She'll pull a shirt aside and you'll see a tattoo across her skin in Premortal.
Yeah, I can read any language, so I can read
Well, it says the word Rose Lily if you want to read it.
I repeat it in common. Rose Lily. Oh, those are both
Alright.
lovely flowers.
I cover it again. Yeah, you can read it, I guess.
So how do you plan to communicate with the dragon when it has certain needs, such as hungry, tired?
Well, if it's hungry, I'll give the blasted thing food. I mean,
How will you know?
Regardless,
it'll try to eat me. Okay, listen, we don't have to get a dragon.
think it's a
All right.
dragon.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to have dragons. Are very rare. In fact, some people even go so far as to say that they are currently extinct.
Okay,
Aw.
that means I
so
want
I-
a dragon.
Don't believe they'll have any dragons.
Darn.
Can I order more wine while this is going?
Absolutely.
Can I pour my meat into my water skin since I already have full of mead?
Sure.
Your
Cool,
mead
and I'll order
skin.
another
Oh well,
glass.
a magical beast is a magical beast. I'm interested to see what they have.
Right. So, you have that favor. I will talk you up to both the academy and the
Merchant's Guild.
count. Well, the Merchant's Guild is the card that I
Oh wait, sorry. Yes.
gave you. The academy and the councilman. I will talk you up to both of them. Maybe they would even like to meet you. You will certainly see.
Me? So am I included in that or just them?
I was talking to everyone.
Oh, okay. They don't know that I'm a drow.
You are absolutely kidding.
I've never met
You're a
them.
drow?
I just send them letters. I figured they wouldn't exactly be too pleased to find out that the person sending them students is a drow.
You know they have guards or even possibly a spy master to check in to see where the letters are coming from. They're not stupid.
Also, to be fair,
I mean, how well do they keep track of them? We know at least 2 people that have focuses outside of the academy.
Who could that be?
You're very good at hiding it as well.
as it say, Gab
Thank
also
you.
just kind of like looks at Kai and just shrinks back.
Wait, why does Gab have something?
Yeah, her.
Listen, I just don't want to go
Holy
walking in there.
moly! Her thing that has tarot cards floating around it.
Right.
And that she outed herself last session?
Yeah.
Listen, I was just saying that I have a hard time keeping
All
track
I'm
of
saying
NPCs.
is
but-
if I go there, I don't want to walk in and then immediately be turned back around.
Back to Darius. If we're being fair, if they're going to let in the other 4 members, looks, Tiefling, looks, Ganassi,
Without shoes.
looks, Ferox, looks at you.
Yes, they're all fine, yes.
I think you'll be fine. It's not
I
like
hope so.
you're enrolling at the academy, so
True.
I believe you should
But I'm
be.
also afraid then they won't really take my word for serious after this.
For serious.
I would not take
I'm-
your word for serious if you keep using
Well,
terms
to
like that.
to be entirely fair, the reason I'm offering up this favor is so that they take you more
So they
serious,
will? Oh,
if
okay.
anything.
I wasn't
Um,
sure.
I'm not entirely sure how it'll go. Just try not to make an ass of yourself when you're up there, I guess.
Noted.
Seems impossible.
Oh, don't talk about yourself like that, Kai. You're a bright young man.
Tea.
Downs the rest of my wine.
Snickers.
Right. So, if there's not anything else you need from me,
No, we appreciate what you've done.
excellent, cool, bye. Just gets up and leaves. Seemingly has had enough of your group's oddities and just incessant questioning that he is just gone.
Okay, bye.
I hope he has a nice day.
Oh.
That's a very courage.
I really want to go to the pet shop.
Right.
Why don't we enjoy a moment just sitting down, enjoying a drink, and then we'll go.
His
right away.
smile drops immediately.
Did you not just ask about food?
Oh, yes. I'm going to go to the pet shop.
And also, as you are talking, there is some music that starts up in the background. It is like a very lightly played, but still like melancholy and beautiful violin that is going, coming from one of the corners of the common room there.
Is that the mute one?
As you look up, it is Autumnalis in the corner.
Who?
Tall one's probably not that far behind.
She is. You haven't met her because she was sitting at the other table. But you would see a shorter, well-dressed elf, but specifically in Eladrin, an autumn-themed Eladrin. They are the elves who are kind of like connected to the Feywild and specifically connected to a season. Her dress is almost seemingly like woven leaves of like copper, brown, red, orange, and yellow like colors. Her hair is kind of like the same, where it kind of like tumbles like past her shoulders in kind of like loose waves, and it's all different colors as well. And she's just kind of very softly playing the violin in the corner.
Does her dress crunch when she walks?
She's currently sitting down, so you don't know.
What was her name?
Her name.
It had autumn in it.
Yeah.
Autumn?
No, she's an autumn elf.
She also had
No.
autumn in the name.
Yeah, she also did have autumn in the
Oh,
name.
did
Let
she?
me bring it up.
Her name's Autumn.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Yes, Autumnalis.
Autumn.
How I feel.
Spell autumn and then add ALIS
Oh.
onto the end of it. And then kind of sitting at the table closest to Autumn is a familiar figure of Rax,
Knew it.
Although she is not in her full plate mail armor. She is in like a tunic with the like a white tunic with the sleeves rolled up to the elbows. Kind of like the first two buttons undone, and then just some like for most people they would probably be looser fitting like brown trousers, but she is just a very large and imposing figure, so they're a little bit tighter on her, and then brown riding boots on as well. And she is just kind of like very straight, shiny brown hair, kind of comes to about her mid back, pointed ears of a half elf, and just very pretty, very like defined features. But other than that, she is significantly taller than any other female half elf you've seen. She's about 6'4", and she is absolutely just muscles on muscles on muscles, jacked.
Oh my.
Ooh.
And from Arwen, you just hear, "Ooh."
You have encountered a lesbian. Ta-da!
But yeah, she's listening to music. After maybe 5 or 10 minutes, she kind of looks over, notices your table, and then kind of gets up and makes her way over to you specifically.
Sup?
I went. Nice. I went looking for the town that you were at previously. Well, not that you were at previously, but that you were at previously, and that we.
Go on.
Start from the top.
Yeah. It's been a long couple of days. The town that you were at previously, and the place that I saw Gruff at. I took a trip out there to see if there was anything new, and I was able to find something.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was this weird thing, and she hands you over like a small pendant. On the pendant is on one side it's blank, on the other side it is a symbol that is 3 mountains, with the middle and highest mountain being covered by a cloud. I found this.
Mm-hmm.
And then underneath was a small note, and it was this.
Oh, his hand chart.
Little.
Doesn't look to
Out
be
of
the
character,
whole-
is this the one that you gave me earlier, or is this another
Same one.
one? Alright.
Anything
Great.
to work with?
I don't know.
really.
May I?
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps at all, but it seems to be
Kai, you're
cut
being
off
quite
mostly.
sneaky.
It's not his handwriting, but it's his symbol.
Right. I don't know. Maybe someone they were tracking, or I don't know, mixed up in the wrong crowd.
Hello, I'm Fendian.
Only
Didn't
word I can
introduce
think of that
ourselves.
ends in egg cars.
Right. Rax, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Actually,
you.
it's actually a weird word
What,
still.
race
That
was
she?
ends in egg car.
What?
What race was she?
She's a half
I
elf.
thought you spelled out
No,
race
it's
with
good to
R-A-C-E.
Beats me.
Good to meet you.
That's, I'm sorry. That's all I
Likewise.
can
Thank you.
draw anything
Yeah,
from.
Arwen's
But
awkward.
this, I am getting a.
Nice to meet you as well.
Perhaps it's maybe a
Aw.
back or
Right.
wings and
That was
a
cute.
flower tattoo.
It's
It turns towards
they're
Kai.
like red drops, right?
Low.
Yes, red drops like blood.
Maybe I'm in shot.
Possibly. Who knows?
I can't see from that angle.
Well, just give it to me
Okay.
and I'll show
Yep.
it to the camera.
I think you're good.
Cool.
Cool. Excellent.
Chiron.
Rax. Alright. Well, that's pretty much all I got.
What was the name of that town?
Har 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 har. That's me laughing.
Oh, that was
Insert Mr. Krabs laugh here.
I think you mean Sir Crustacean. It's not copyrighted.
Did anyone else want
Yep.
to look at it?
Cool. I was able to find it.
That T saying it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. What exactly is this? What significance does it have to you?
No idea.
Looks like a flower with reverse wings.
What kind of flower is this?
Out of character.
Did she say
those
what
are
kind?
drops of red, so it's like blood.
It's a rose
Okay.
Oh.
and it has blood dripping from the thorns and from the flower
Question.
itself, and it kind of forms. Yes.
That's ominous.
I know this is gonna sound very odd, but is there any religion group that uses roses or flowers? Just I have a theory.
Make a religion check.
But that's just a theory. Haha.
Greetings.
18.
Wow.
Damn, there's really no way for me to whisper to you, which is unfortunate and tragic. No, the flowers don't necessarily ring any bells. Though, specifically back, prior to the incident at Baldur's Gate, where, one of his champions sort of came back to life and went on a murdering rampage, back when Baal was a god of the Pantheon and one of the 16 gods that ruled over the world. His symbol was a skull, but the skull was surrounded by droplets of blood in a similar fashion.
Before she walks away or whatever, I'll take 4 gold out of my pouch and say good work.
She just kind of looks at it and looks back at you. That wasn't a job, and then walks away.
Still
Wait.
information.
The town that you're in, what is the weather currently? Is there snow on the ground? Is it going through a drought?
The town that we were in.
That you found this?
Same weather as here. It's only a day away. It's the town of Meadowbrook, just up north.
But has it been dry recently? Has it?
I
know this sounds odd, but it's
it's
gonna help me for something I do later.
yeah, it's fairly dry there currently. I mean, it's autumn. You kind of
Is
hear
it
like
summer?
you kind of hear it's like the end of summer getting
Okay.
into autumn.
Mhm.
It's just about time for the harvest, so it's not exactly the wet season. As she says it's autumn, you just hear like slightly louder playing in the background. And she just
It's autumn.
Thank you. I know it's a weird question, but I think you might understand why I asked.
You're right. It is a weird
Mhm.
question. With that, she turns around and walks
Vacation.
away.
I will tell you anyway.
Alright. If you hear anything else, I got more.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
She walks away. Just kind of raises a fist.
Staring at
So,
the issue walks away.
The picture,
It's a good
the only thing I
movie.
could think of that's close, because I was thinking, because again, a car, like a big car, but Bale had a symbol with skull with blood droplets around it, so it might be a offshoot or perhaps a new organization that's working with bringing it back. But the reason I asked the weather is because if we use the scrying and we see the weather matches up, we can know that perhaps he's not too far from there. But if he's suddenly in a place that's recently got a lot of rain, recently went for a drought or such, we know that he's nowhere near that town, which means we can move away from that.
Interesting.
So like evening.
I'm not familiar with the
It's
spell,
no,
so
because
I
you
don't
guys
really
wait
know.
until the next morning to come in here, so it is
Right.
Magic is
still
my
like it's
expertise.
barely even noon.
Okay, gotcha.
Investigation, magic's mine.
Did our food come out?
Yes, your food
Okay.
came out.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it like really
I'm just
fast
trying
and
to
then be
think
like,
perhaps
done.
a different
Ready to
viewpoint
go.
might just give you another brain to work.
Smart. Eating on the go. I like it.
It's not much help for you right now. But
He's like bouncing up and down in
It's
his seat.
something.
I'll finish up eating too, and then kind of like look down at my burnt up cloak and be like, well,
We can go shopping.
her pomegranates are on sale.
Yes, there's a 5-finger discount. Sorry. I just smacked the microphone.
I'll get up from the table and just start walking out.
Yeah. As you guys are leaving, Sandra comes to collect all of the plates. I also saw you guys pouring up the note and just did you find everything that you were looking for?
Can you make any fucking sense of this?
You show it to her.
Mm.
She looks at it. Her eyes go wide. Her face pales. Where did you find that?
It apparently was with the belongings of the person I'm looking for.
I'm not quite sure that you would want to find that person anymore.
Why?
Come back later tonight and we can talk in my office.
Alright.
All of you.
Bloody hell.
Oh, what did I get myself wrapped up in?
If,
Certainly not a present.
well, from what I hear, you've already made enemies of the guild. And if you've made enemies of the ones who carry that symbol, you have made enemies who will make the guild look like a band of schoolyard children who are bullies.
This one's mine. It's not theirs.
Yeah, that's her thing. That's her thing.
They might not even know about me. It's, you know.
Very well. Well, I'll be ready for that talk tonight.
Or is it sort of like we're guilty by association at this point?
She's already started walking away. She seems
Goodbye.
slightly distraught by it.
I like to mention before I leave, I'll leave a 2 gold tip.
Oh,
She
smart,
will,
I didn't think of that.
She will appreciate that when she gets back.
I'll give her 10 silver.
And then
I left already.
Don't you give everybody money who
you
says
already
hello to you?
Yeah, I had left before that conversation.
Alright. And then finally, Darius rushes back in real quick.
So anyone
you
that
guys,
says hello to you.
No, they usually spit at me.
I can understand.
No, but you'll give me gold if I say hello to you.
Hello, Darius. Doris.
hello.
He's
You
back
guys,
so soon.
you guys have been sitting down to eat for probably close to an hour at this point. So
If you have another quest, it can wait a few hours.
indeed it can, but indeed I don't. A couple of my contacts responded to me quicker than I expected them to. There were 2 prefects that I was able to get in contact with from the Mages Academy that would love to meet with you. Apparently they already know one of you, but that's neither here nor there. Aside from that, the councilman that I was talking about also was actually very interested in meeting all of you tomorrow. So I hope it's not too presumptuous of me. But I told her that at noontime tomorrow, you all would be going up to the palace to meet with her.
Oh.
So yeah, you're welcome. Alright, I'm taking my leave again. Bye. And then rushes back out.
Guess we have plans tomorrow, you guys.
If the fate is how it usually goes, I exactly know who those 2 prefects are.
Kat has been kind of quiet this whole time, and it just, if you guys don't mind, I think I'm just gonna maybe skip that meeting tomorrow.
I mean, you're free to do as you please.
Alright,
Can I skip it?
I don't see why not.
I'll poke my head back into the bar and be like, "Is anyone coming?"
Yes, I want to go see what creatures they have. Then I want to go shopping.
Kat will kind of like get up. There's definitely like something bugging her. She definitely like as soon as Darius said that, like her demeanor just kind of like and Gab kind of gets up with all of you and just goes, well, I should probably go check in with my sister real quick, so have fun shopping for your pet. I'll be here waiting for you guys later.
Goodbye.
And she rushes out.
Have a nice day. Tell Cat I said have a nice day as well.
Cat is right
Cat's
That's
She's
I saw
standing
Cat.
there.
I can't she fucked off.
Nope.
Oh, have a nice day.
Okay.
Woo!
Can I make an insight check on Cat?
Go for it. What are you inciting specifically?
Why? Like, at what point at the conversation that her face drops, and if I could read like any specific words, like make her maybe twinge or twitch.
I feed some food to my rat while we eat.
No. One.
No.
She's mine.
Aside from just generally like as during at some point in the conversation, like she went from just her normal self to just like some negative emotion.
And Cat didn't even say anything.
What?
What?
I said, and Kai didn't say anything.
I was out. I was not
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
room.
gonna say, yeah, Kai wasn't in the room for any of that.
That's
Kai
the
doesn't
joke.
even know anything about the symbol.
Yeah.
I was going to joke that Kai is always picking on
Alright,
us.
so
Walking
what are
to
you
the
guys doing?
shops.
Walking to the shops?
Yeah.
I'm going to the pet shop first.
I guess we're going to the pet shop first.
And then
Oh.
I have some other things I would like to purchase.
I'll go to the pet.
So, as you guys head along the bridge, for those of you that haven't really seen it before, which are the three of you, the design of it is almost ingenious. It is a stone bridge, approximately 50 to 60 feet wide, arched. But as the railings are on the side, the railings are not so much railings, so much as stone buildups that are about 3 feet high that are just solid. There are breaks in those that extend kind of down some stairs, and also each one next to the stairs has like a large ramp, large enough for a cart to go down. And then attached to those stone walls are also like pieces of wood that kind of have like metal, almost sutures kind of sent through the stone, holding the wood in place. And these stilt systems allow the shops to sort of, if the end of the bridge is here, it allows the shops to kind of hang off here. And so the stairs extend down and wrap around so that this is the front of the store facing out towards the river.
That makes me
And allows
nervous.
them to hang like underneath. There's also like huge stone pillars, approximately 15 to 20 feet in radius, that are holding up the bridge itself and holding the weight of this. And these occur every like 50 or 60 feet of the bridge, because this bridge itself is approximately 1,500 feet long. It's a very large bridge over a very large river.
So what's that? Almost like a mile long?
1,500 feet, about a quarter mile.
I was wrong.
A mile is 5,280 feet to be specific.
Right.
But regardless.
Who was a track star?
Not you.
Yeah, not me.
It was
Who
me.
can't do math?
Me.
I raised my hand. I wasn't.
Alright, so,
checking
but
it.
as you walk along, you eventually see a sign for the largest store. The caption underneath, for all of your needs, magical and mundane, Zenim, or, as that is its nickname, as its official full name, Zenaria Imports.
Mother.
Oh.
Oh goody! I'm the first one, and I like happily trot down the steps.
Alright.
Scenaria is
I'll
our
follow right
alternate
behind you.
campaign. We play off camera.
Oh, I get it now.
Wow!
I was like, Zenaria, that's where we are. And then I was like, wait.
Holy moly.
You're laughing.
So Kai, what's your intelligence?
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
I'd
gosh.
say we're laughing with you,
16.
but you're not laughing.
Alright, so. You head
Oh
down
wait, we
there?
don't have to knock.
No, there, I was about to say,
Forgot it's
the
not a house.
I was about to say the doors are open. It's a shop.
I walk in.
Zenarian Police.
Pet shop.
I
Fences
guess
and
I've
nuts.
somehow gone this far, so I'll head inside.
Alright.
I'll go inside.
Alright, cool. Alright, so you head inside. It is a really large shop. Probably, it looks like it has like multiple rooms, and it kind of extends back pretty far. The first room itself is maybe 40 by 50 feet, full of all sorts of different, there's a section that has vials and potions in it. There's a section that has all sorts of different mundane gear in it, everything that you would find in any of your adventure packs, like rope, torches, rations, pythons, hammers, all sorts of tool sets for, thieves' tools, tinker's tools, cooking utensils, things that you can use to brew beer, things that you can use to make wine, calligrapher's tools, literally everything that you can think of is there.
Interesting.
Kind of.
This is like a super Walmart, but like nicer.
Fantasy Costco.
But
Fantasy
Fantasy
Costco.
I like the old.
But yeah, so walking in, kind of looking around, finally off to the counter to the left here. Yeah, is there anything that I can help any of you with?
Certainly.
You look over and there is a ferox, kind of sitting behind standing behind the counter. She has sort of shoulder length, silvery blue hair, and kind of multicolored eyes that sort of swirl around in like blues, pinks, and purples.
Like opalescent eyes, kind of.
Yes, very much so.
That's cool.
And standing next to her is an elf, a high elf, actually, of all things. Actually, no, a wood elf. I meant to say a full elf, not a high elf. A full elf, a wood elf, with shoulder length, blonde hair, kind of pale skin,
Yeah.
and is wearing kind of like capri-like brown pants
Mhm.
and just a simple tunic on top.
Oh.
Boots.
Hello. So I'm gonna like excitedly like rush up to the counter. I'm gonna take the little card that Darius gave us. We just recently completed a quest for Mr. Darius, I don't know, Strong Shield or whatever.
Oh yes, he has helped us out of a couple fairly difficult situations.
You mentioned you have some interesting creatures of interest of the exotic magical variety.
Oh yes, we do. They are currently being handled in one of the back rooms by someone who is a little bit more specialized in magical goods. We kind of have a lot of different people handling all of the different specialities here, which is one of the things that makes this store unique, I suppose, and helps
That's
us
a
run
good
as well
idea.
as we do. Also, I didn't catch any of your
Fendiru.
Fendiru.
It's-
Anastriana, nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Ah!
The fox?
Different.
Yeah. Next to her, the blonde elf is just Thea. Nice to meet you too.
Did I give you
It's a pleasure to meet you both. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, whoops! I keep touching them.
So Anastriana is Liz's character, and Thea is my character, but neither of them are the right races.
We don't have the braces in this campaign. Stop it. Anastriana coming on too. So if you'd like to follow us to the back, we can certainly show you to all the pets. So they kind of take you through one of the rooms. It is the first room that you go through has like weapons of mundane and magical all across the walls. The two people working this room, it seems, there is a taller man with like pure white pupils, kind of like a fairly
Do y'all know him, or are you just thirsty?
We know who it is.
it's Flynn.
Oh.
A fairly imposing figure.
One of Pat's characters.
Yes. A fairly imposing figure. He is currently seems to be in the process of kind of like tempering magically some of the items. And then working the forge is a small blue colored kobold.
Hmm.
That's another one of Pat's characters.
Be a
Are
good
either of them
boy.
looking at us?
They look to you as you go in. They kind of nod to you before waving to Anastriana and Thea as they bring you through. They then take you into.
Isn't like kobolds like illegal in Baldur's Gate?
Illegal. A kobold walks in. Illegal.
So are ferals. But it would strike you as odd. Like you see the pure white eyes and you kind of realize like looks like a human, probably not a human, and then you see the kobold and you're just like
Definitely not a human.
and you get into like the monstrous races, but then you look back and you see that like the one of the faces of this shop, so to speak, is a ferox. So they honestly doesn't seem like they care very much. It seems like this is a pretty accepting place, and as long as you're like in with this group, you're in with this group.
So we are like normal like people to them. It's not even.
Oh
like,
yeah, they
weird.
have literally not batted an eye to any of you as this. So they then take you into the next room where there is how the previous room was weapons. This room is armor. There is all sorts of armor here. Some of them gives off like a faint sort of magical glow. And in this room there is. A tall like buff-looking tiefling. As it say, purple-skinned, kind of longer hair, who just kind of like gives you a nod. And aside from that, kind of moving next to one of the sets of armor, in full armor himself, so it's kind of hides him a bit, is a figure in pure black armor with a helmet on that just looks to you on. So you turn.
No. So like, how buff is the tiefling?
The tiefling, real buff. She is
Spirit.
real buff.
Oh, she.
Spirit.
Oh.
I forgot Spirit was a tiefling.
Yeah, me too. I was like, who?
Spirit's not purple though. So.
Greetings,
you
sir.
didn't quite.
Free color.
Please say back.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of nods
What's
to you
next
before
with
going
dragon?
back. He's the one working the
Thanks,
forge.
that
The
was-
tiefling is kind of like organizing some of the armor on the shelf. And finally, they lead you to a final room back. What?
Nothing.
Finally, they lead you to another room in the back, and this one you kind of see like a couple of cages. Yes, leaning over one of the cages, sort of working with it. Looks like some form of griffin. Is a taller, well-dressed orc, half orc rather.
Yes.
So excited. He has like a lot of jewelry on, like his tusks coming up, kind of longer black hair. And he's just kind of over top of one of the griffins. Just, Come on, behave.
Can we just like
Good
hang
to
out
meet
here
you,
for a
sir.
session?
If I ask what your name is, I'm Fendi and Rue.
Oh, Gora Kazaa. Pleasure to meet you.
It all comes full circle.
Very good. You know, I think we would be.
He's back! I thought you were dead.
I particularly enjoy your sense of style.
Oh, thank you.
He's fully clothed. He doesn't wear shirts. I think
This is gonna be so confusing to anyone watching.
Turns out he's so hairy he doesn't need to.
Ew!
Anyways,
Is it a fur coat?
pleasure to meet you, sir.
He was hairless
We're,
besides his long flowing locks.
I guess I
don't
would
know
have.
that.
I guess we would have like taken. I don't know if an Austriano would have taken.
An
that little
Austriano
coupon.
would have taken it and kind of
Yeah.
kind of waggling it as she walks up. All right, Gora. So it appears that these people have somehow come a hold of that favor that we gave to Darius. You remember that one time? And Gora Kazaa just kind of like looks sort of confused at her, and you hear Thea behind her just, yeah, you know that one time he did us a real big favor, like dripping with sarcasm. Gora's just like, oh, yes, that's right. I forgot about that. We were cleaning up that for months, weren't we? Oh, oh boy.
Ew!
So,
Don't look at me and ask.
oh, that's right. I forgot. We also have music.
You're the only one wearing not gray or black. My eyes are drawn to you.
Yeah, but she's got black hair.
It's purpley.
So, yes, that is good for one of our exotic pets that we just got in. So that is bound to be exciting for all of you.
Yes.
Would you like to see them all?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we have this, a griffin. He's a little temperamental, aren't you, bud? You're just a little. As soon as he sticks his finger in, it just like beak immediately towards the finger, just kind of stabs at it a little bit. Just, I'm sure once you properly train him, he won't do that.
I'm sorry, can you show us again, please?
Okay,
No.
He, it sounds like something.
No.
Sure.
Arwen's bored now. Can I wander away? and look at the
Arwen's
animals?
bored.
Sure. You wander away and look at the animals yourself.
Cool.
Alright.
He brings you to the next
Never
one.
change, Arwen.
What?
Never change.
Nope.
He brings you to the next one. It is appears to be like a wolf pup, though much larger than your average wolf pup. So this is a dire wolf of sorts.
What color is it?
Like a lot of like white, but kind of colorations and patterns of like silver. She we got her from up north. She seems to have some cold magic infused in her. We're not sure if that is like a species thing or a bloodline thing. We just know that she go for it. We just know that at one point when our resident
That's water. That's one.
what?
Plus one.
All right, so I will stop my speech then, I guess.
Sorry.
It's all good. I'll finish it and then we'll get into that. Actually,
Sure, that's fine. Whichever's easier for you.
We are not sure which one it specifically is. We just know that when our resident plant and herbologist, as well as cook, Lorcan, was in the process of fixing one of our meals, there was apparently too much pepper, and she sneezed and proceeded to freeze an entire crate of healing potions that we got. So that was, you
Potion
know,
sickles.
on.
Morgan, who's that? Who would do that?
In my defense, well, against me rather, probably should have thought better than to put them next to her, but still, you know, you live and you learn.
Certainly.
So going to your role, it definitely almost seems as if it's like a species sort of blood infused sort of magic. Like this is like almost like a special species of direwolf from the north that is kind of like learned to adapt by kind of absorbing some of the magic that is there. Just
Little winter wolf.
a little
But more dire.
bit, yes,
Okay.
yes, kind of in the. Kind of, you know, I said this when I was watching your campaign yesterday. Every time someone makes a really shitty joke or pun, I'm going to roll the dice, and a random person is going to take 1d8 psychic damage from this shit.
Yes! I love that, honestly.
But yeah, it seems like it just sort of like almost absorbed the magic that is like bled through the weave over time
Okay.
to just sort of create its own species of magical wolf.
It has fur. No, next.
But yes, there's that. Let's see what else we have here. We have our special little friend over here. It is like a little miniature. Let's see, who would be really familiar with animals here? It's an owlbear. It's a little miniature
That one.
owlbear.
I know it has fur, but that
Oh
one.
my god, Fendi's no. Long story.
But it is like it has like 2 extra padlocks on the front of the cage, and also like a special collar around it to really keep it from moving that much. And that one's a very special friend. I'm sure you could train it to.
Not kill us.
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe kill something other than you. Might be good.
My experience with them, no.
It's cute.
That is
Not for long.
that is about the extent of things that we have. There is the one more, but I'm not sure if we're
What is it?
supposed to be
Fendian,
showing
like,
that
Grinch
to
smile.
you. Passive perception for everybody. Actually, no. You've wandered off. You've nope. I said passive, not active, so don't roll.
Oh.
But you actually wandered off, so you know what I'm going to reward
Roll.
you for that kind of nefarious behavior.
Think
So
about
you've
this
kind of
literally.
come close to like a door that is like not so much like all the other doors have just been open like archways, probably 8 or 9 feet high and 15 feet wide, that kind of have led into like the weapons room and then the armor room and then this room. This one is like a small closed door that is just cracked open barely. You can hear like a couple of squeaks coming from inside, occasional like against the floor, and finally a little voice just going, "No, get back in there! No, stop! Don't lick me! Oh, God, your tongue is stop it!" And then you just hear like thump of a body just hitting the ground, followed by it tumbling and finally rolling straight out of the door. You kind of have to jump back to keep from the door just hitting you in the face. Laying now in the open doorway, just staring up with like a scowl on her face, is a small gnome with like wild
There she is.
red hair. She's absolutely covered in slobber,
Oh.
and she just like peels it off her. She's like, oh God, why? I should have stayed up with the tools. God damn it. And leaping over her body is like this small, silvery blue mass that just sort of like like almost tackles her, grabs her in its talons, and just sort of like they roll across the room before it just pins her to the ground, further licking her, squeaking all the while. And it is a small wormling. It looks to be silver in color, though towards the wings and also towards the face, there's also like a lot of like blue veiny patterns.
I like to cast a spell right away.
Yes.
I like to cast comprehend languages just in case.
You're not over there, are you?
No, you're all.
It rolled out.
You were right near the door, and you were the first one to hear it.
Oh, okay.
And as you kind of like listened in, it literally knocked this gnome straight out of the room.
I go, ha! Told you, dragon.
You comprehend languages, but at this point, the dragon cannot speak any particular language.
I know,
It
just
can just
saying.
understand.
I had no
so
idea.
I was to say, all you hear as this dragon is on top of Isla, just as it's just like as it's just squeaking and licking her before it finally
Guys, I want that one.
before it finally looks up.
Me too.
It looks at you. It looks at you. Do you come close to it?
Yeah.
As soon as you get within 5 feet of you, it just jumps a wing flap, kind of lands in your chest, knocks you over to the ground, and is now just like licking your face. as it's
Arwen is so
squeaking.
lucky.
You guys, it chose me.
What about the wolf? At least if that one sneezes, we'll just die. We don't have to worry about that.
But look at it, it's so cute. Hello.
If you would like to take all the hair out of my clothes, then we can
I'm
get the
gonna
wolf.
squat down next to Arwen, who's now in the book. Hello.
I was gonna say wherever it is like its scales are touching you, it is like really, really cold to the touch. Not unpleasantly so, but like
Not normal for a body.
no, like when you get into bed and you haven't been laying there for a while and the fan's on and the blanket's been pulled off and you lay in the sheets for the first time and it's like, ooh, that's really like chilly and refreshing.
Ooh, this
It's-
might be
it's-
an icy boy.
A refreshing one.
It's like that, but there's also like as it like licks you, like a tingling, like an electrical tingling in your cheeks as well as
Icy
it licks
hot.
you.
Interesting.
Before it finally like kind of like gets off of you and kind of like starts walking around the room, kind of like looking at everyone. It kind of just
Would sir like a biscuit?
stuff.
We have to get him. Fendian laughs like that. We have to get this one.
He laughs like the Cookie Monster.
It's
Or
just
Grover.
as it goes to swallow it, it kind of like has a little bit of difficulty, and as it coughs, there's just like small like electrical bolts that extend maybe
Oh.
like 2 or 3 feet out of its mouth. It's just like
Nice.
We We have to get this one. We have
Kai
to get
just
this
kind of
one.
like steps back. He's like, ugh.
There's no fur, and it's so cute, and it can fly.
Is it like slobbering like too?
No, it was only they were only covered in slobber because it was licking them. And finally,
Look,
it
he's friendly.
just kind of like looks over at you and just.
Come on, look, he's
I'll
friendly.
just kind of stare at it.
I take one
Unsure.
shot and like very protectively so I can like protect it. Does it attack?
You should put that away.
Looks over and just. Kind of like walks up slowly. It's 10 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet. It's like right up against it.
Gee,
It's kind
you
of,
perhaps
it kind of,
scared of it?
I don't want it to eat my rat. It's not mine.
It
Keep
kind
it
of,
in
it
your
kind of
pocket.
just looks at you. It's probably about this far away from the rat before it just goes over to it. Look, kind of, they're just staring at each other intently before it just kind of like goes nose to nose for a second. As it does, the rat kind of like flinches a little bit from like the static, and just before it just kind of like shakes its head and looks back up at the dragon or the wormling. The wormling just looks back and just. Kind of
Does
looks
the
back
rat's
up at you.
purple?
How big is the wormling? Sorry.
The wormling? It's about at
big
this
cat?
at this point, like a very large cat. It's a medium-sized creature.
It was
So it is so it is about if you go like tip of nose to like tip of extended tail, maybe 5 feet, but the tail is like 2 feet at
So
that.
could it
probably
like
3 feet long if you're counting just body and head, and probably about if it's sitting on the table, maybe this high.
theoretically, could it like sit on my shoulders? Because that would be a look.
Do you like kind of like crouch down for it?
I'll after kind of seeing that it's a little bit like calm, I'll like hesitantly like put my arm down like a ramp, I guess. No better way to explain it.
It kind of like sees that, doesn't quite process what you're trying to
What's
do,
my
and just
strength?
attempts to jump up on you. What is your strength? 12. All right. So it's not the largest creature, but this wormling is still approximately 90 to 100 pounds at this point. So it kind of like lands. It kind of like lands in your arms, and you're able to like adjust and princess hold it, but it's as heavy as a person.
I just like go for it like, oof, oh, okay, and stand
And
up.
also, like, you get, like, the full blast of the cold sensation as it's, like, holding you. Like, it's just very chilly and a little bit of static as it's just kind of, like, looking... It's, like, lovingly, like, staring up at you now. It's got, like, a little bit of, like, spikage on it, but it's kind of... It's not, like, super painful at this point.
Can I
It's just
add
sort of,
some humor factor to this?
yes.
When I pick it up, my hair goes from being like kind of sleek and nice to kind of like poofing up just a little bit.
I was turning towards her, I'm like, I'm sure we can get that one. I'm sure we can persuade you to let it go.
Well, that was, one of the ones that we got in. We were just having a little bit of trouble training her, so to
We can
speak.
do that part.
We can totally do that part.
You are going to train a dragon.
Isn't that a movie?
I don't know what you're
What's
talking
a
about.
Please don't get us sued.
Listen, it's easy when is it a she?
He said she.
When she does something good, we go, ooh, he's a cookie. And when she does something bad, we go, oh, you only get half a cookie. She's just so cute.
Gorgeous sort of like
That is
looks.
not any way to.
Gorgeous sort of looks
propaganda
over you
child.
for like
not a
probably
child.
5-10 seconds of silence before. Oh man, so stupid! I can't believe we didn't think of that. Turning back to the next
See, the man knows good animal rearing skills when he hears them.
I'm the only insane man in an insane world.
Now can I put it on my shoulders?
Yeah,
might be
it's
a
pretty
mom.
heavy. It's like giving a piggyback ride to a full person.
It's just on my
What
shoulders
should
now.
we name her?
I believe she means herself.
Can she? Fantastic. Less work for us.
Make either an Arcana check
Ooh,
or a
I'm
history
proficient in
check.
that. Can I do that?
You can make one as well since you were the one that answered the
which
question. Arcana or history.
Nobody rolls well. Can I also do that?
That's metagaming. It's either now or not.
14.
19.
No, just because it was the conversation between the two of them. I apologize.
Fair.
You rolled
14.
19.
Alright, it's enough for both of you. From what you know about dragons, at least, you probably at least read like 1 or 2 books of just like, oh, this looks interesting, might as well read this. Dragons do tend to pick their own names, though it is commonplace if one is living closely with society, that you can suggest names to them, and they will either accept or decline them.
I think we should let her name herself if we keep her. And also, no, never mind.
You know.
Nothing about anything ever. Just silly old chap doesn't know a thing about. My notebook. Oh my goodness.
Is that out of character or in character?
No, that's in character.
Oh my
That's
god.
in character.
I like the insight check. I think Gore's full. Oh, not Gore. Fenrir is full of bullshit.
You don't even have to insight. It's just if Sylvanus thinks that he's bullshitting, then Sylvanus thinks he's bullshitting.
Yeah. Isn't he always bullshit?
Pretty much.
Badly.
That's dumb.
I'll kind of give like a shrug and approving nod, like this one's fine.
Say, Isla kind of like walks by all of you before like looking at the dragon and just. That's done. And just kind of continues walking out of the room, just still like.
Goodbye. Have a better day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in lowercase.
Yeah.
Cause she's small.
God.
Alright, so.
I tell you to go home.
I am home.
You are
I'll be like talking to the worm a little bit, just like, it's too bad you're not gold.
Oh, I have a question. Do you perhaps sell scrolls of sending here?
We might be able to get one made up. You're going to have to talk to some of our magic. You have to talk to some of our
I'm right
magic
here.
specialists about
Ash has
that.
been a good boy.
He was sleeping this whole time.
What a boy. Everybody pay attention to the cats.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Fuck
He woke up 'cause he
D&D.
heard his name.
Alright, well,
You're going to have to talk to some of our
Oh,
magic
no.
specialists. They might have
You awoken the demon.
might have a couple of things for you, though.
Who should we be
As-
looking for?
As you,
I'm assuming an Austriana and Thea.
Anostrian is the one talking.
Thea.
Thea is also standing right there.
Shit.
No, we have a room that has what magical goods that we have. It's not necessarily the most impressive selection, as you know, magic nowadays is not necessarily the
Yeah.
easiest thing to come by, and none of us are necessarily adventurers ourselves. We're just merchants and a group of people who happen to fall into a business opportunity and do fairly well for ourselves. But we can certainly take you over there. I would be happy to show you the way.
That'd be great. Very much appreciated.
You tried.
I did.
I would go as well.
All right, so you guys go back through the armor room with the masked or the helmeted individual and the tiefling. You go through.
Oh, we have a dragon.
You go through the next area that has the taller human-looking man with the kind of pupilless eyeballs and the little kobold that is still kind of like hammering away. That like as Gore is like walking with you at this point, he kind of like as he sees Gore, kind of like sets everything down, sort of like almost dropping the hammer off the anvil onto the ground, sort of excitedly, before running up to Gore and like pulling him his arm.
I love it.
And they kind of like go back and forth for a second before Gore like kind of like walks over and they kind of like start the sort of project together as you're walking out. The very excitable kobold.
Fuck you.
But then they lead you back into the main room. Isla is there now, kind of like working on some of the tools, having cleaned herself off enough. At least, they lead you through a room towards the left side now. It's the first time we sort of went to the right side. There's a lot of like plants and salves and potions in this room, with a tall furbolg that is kind of like overseeing everything. That just sort of like upon seeing like Anostrian and Theo walk in, sort of gives a wave that kind of like dies as he sees all the rest of the people, and he just sort of like takes an awkward like half step back, sort of like let everybody pass.
Not wrong.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I really used to be like that.
I really be like that sometimes.
I really be like that.
Now you're Kai.
Now I'm that.
But yes, so they lead you through that room into a next room that has a couple of cloaks, a couple of amulets, some scrolls, just sort of general magical artifacts that kind of adorn the walls that are mostly locked behind like glass panels and different things. It's kind of like a showroom of sorts almost. Sort of working behind one of the counters is a human female that just sort of is like working on something very intently, kind of like almost like a scowl on her face as she's trying to like do something. It seems with an amulet that she has and it doesn't seem to be cooperating. No. What?
What's next? Is it full?
No, actually not Val. It's that was Valeria. Let me get on there. Yeah. And then aside from that, kind of like waving to Anostriana and Thea as they walk in, is another tall, full elf. This seems to be a high elf just because of how pointed and like pronounced the ears are. Black hair and like really really light like alabaster skin. She just kind of like waves kind of cordially to Anostriana and Thea as they walk in, sort of like a smile on her faces. So, new friends? As Thea's just like, no, they wanted to. No, they were interested in seeing some of the magical goods, right? And turns around to all of you.
Yes, and we found the magical best.
I was about to say, the tall elf is just, don't know that I'd call myself the best, but you're.
Oh, I meant you're very great too. I meant the goods, the best, the best.
Oh, no, she's a handful, but she's a good bean.
Ooh,
Alright,
so
yeah, so, anything in particular that you were looking for?
I'm looking for perhaps a scroll of sending. Cause I don't need sending stones, because I want to be able to get to the person. I need to send them a message. And
Right.
I am unable to cast that magic myself.
We do have one of those currently. Kind of like walks over to one of the, where like a lot of the scrolls are kind of in the case, kind of like. You see this one, unlocks one of them, pulls a scroll out. Just like a really written on really nice paper, kind of like a vellum scroll with ribbon wrapped around it and a seal pressed to it.
How much would that run?
Let's see. Kind of like pulls out like a small.
Make a sad face if it's over 80 gold.
Pulls out a small ledger, kind of goes over. This is one of our more rare scrolls, so to speak. So this would run you about 750 gold pieces.
Do you know anybody who can cast sending? Oh, they don't know her. Oh, he makes that sound. He looks very frustrated. I understand. You know, it's rare. Things cost as much as they're worth.
Yeah, it's maybe if we could make them here, it would be a lot cheaper. But none of us are adventurers, so to speak. So none of us really know any magic aside from just being able to enchant a couple items. We mostly acquire a lot of our goods.
Understood.
We have a couple missionaries, travelers that sort of are part of our group, but their job is to go out and collect things.
Understood.
Yes.
What spells are you looking for the most?
What spells are we looking for the most? Let's see, what sells? Well, for the more nefarious clientele.
My ears are blocked. I did not hear that word.
Spells like knock can come in handy if you know how to enchant that into a scroll. Let's see, what else? Always a good choice. Any scrolls that have the ability to heal someone are typically good. Whenever we have any soldiers that come in, spells that can heal multiple people are good. Spells that can damage large groups of people are also good. I know, not out here, but locked away in one of our safes, we actually have a scroll of Fireball that's kind of exciting. That's probably one of the biggest ones that we've come in contact with so far. But that's about it. Aside from that, we just have a couple of magical items as well.
I mean, I can do only one a day, but I do know enough. I'm going to be in Baldur's Gate for some time, if you understand what I'm saying.
We
picking up what I'm putting down.
Might be able to work out a deal. Are you good with enchantments and transcribing spells?
I can be taught.
Right. That will take some time, but if you're going to be here for long enough, then it certainly might be something that we want to look into. Was there anything else that I could help you with?
Know anybody who can cast sending?
I don't know, maybe...
Oh, goodness. Bless you, Gore.
Bless you.
What is today?
Do you know where
ruined
the
the
best
illusion.
clothing shops are?
The best.
On this bridge,
Probably
at
didn't
least.
even pick up on any of mine. He sneezed. If you guys didn't hear that.
The best. We do actually have a fine selection of more common wear here. We also have a section where we have some fancier articles of clothing, so to speak. And then aside from that, I mean, if you're looking for clothing that has protection in it, then we have our section that has all the armors in it that you need,
No
as well as
need
like a
for
couple of
that.
magical cloaks and things like that as well.
Quick question out of character.
Yeah.
I still have the dragon on my shoulder. Now, if I touch Sylvanus, will it shock him? Like a little.
Think about this carefully. What spells
Do you
I
want-
might have.
Do you
No,
want-
no,
do you want-
listen.
Do you want to try it?
Yes. So anyway, I keep.
Where you got
You-
open?
1,000 years of pain.
Oh. So anyway,
Leaves every last one of you.
Who isn't?
That's a past life.
What are you doing? What are you poking up?
I guess just as he's talking to the shopkeep, I'll just kind of come up behind him and go, like in the arm.
Yeah. In your arm, you just feel small. Kind of like that. So
Like a
there's
fun
bit of
buzzer.
static electricity shot.
Their feet on the carpet.
Yeah, you just kind of in the background.
Oh,
I
shocking.
know where your room is, and that might be shattered. Be careful.
Oh, he's coming from front of the windows. You're going to have to pay for that guy.
I'll just like stifle laughter.
Anyway,
I was about to say, Kat's also laughing a little bit at this point because she kind of came along, but has just been silently observing all of this. As you say that, she'll chime in. Be careful, he might get you back with some wet hair or something.
Anyway, do you guys sell braces?
Braces?
Bracers.
Oh.
At this point, Thea will chime in and just, I mean, yeah, we already took you through the armor room, didn't we?
How much?
For bracers?
Yep.
Depends what kind of bracers you want.
Just, regular, cheap.
Regular.
Um,
Can I get a fucking
you want, like, leather?
Yeah, something that might protect me more, but isn't gonna count as armor.
It is difficult to word.
Wow,
Wow.
wow, the metagame is the metagame.
To be fair, it's hard to word it in a way.
Yeah.
Something that would help you
lightweight.
more freely?
Yeah, if,
Cheap.
yeah, if you're looking for bracers, then we can get you some bracers.
For like price range.
Just the bracers, nothing else. No gloves, no pauldrons, just bracers.
Just for now.
Like I said, it depends what you get them made out of, but maybe like some hard cured leather. Get it dyed any color you want. You're probably looking at, I'll call it 6, maybe 8 gold pieces.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say like 60, like 600,
Yeah,
like.
it's like 600.
Definitely not 600.
Well, I have 60 gold to my name right now, so.
See, it's only a tenth then.
Would you like me to take you back to the armor room so that you can get those, or?
Yeah.
Alright, so Thea will start leading you there. Is there any other magical goods that you would like to look at while you're here with an Austriana and the mystery woman with the black hair?
I highly doubt you're able to do this. I had already had someone try to identify item, but it needs a higher form of identification. Is there anyone here, or you might know of anyone that could?
At this, the human working behind the counter kind of stops and also comes around from, and she's kind of like, her and Gwen are or her and the mystery elf are just sort of looking over each other now. Just kind of give each other a weird look and like turn to you. A higher form of, to my knowledge, identify is a fairly minor magical spell that does not necessarily have a higher magical counterpart, so to speak.
Let's
It's not
just say the
something-
last person to identify it, the object reacted quite violently towards them.
At this point, Kat speaks up. I tried to identify that shit on his back, and it kind of blew up with ice on my face. And at that, the two of them just kind of look at each other, sort of confused, look back at you. We could certainly try, though I cannot guarantee that it goes any differently.
Sounds like you might need to disenchant that part of it if you want to learn the other powers. Sounds like a failsafe to ensure that.
Yes, but I am also also instantly attuned to me, and that is not a normal thing for items to do. You usually have to focus on the item before it attunes to you.
It knew that you were a special bard.
Incredible.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's incredible.
It instantaneously attuned to you.
That is correct.
That's... You may want to take that up to the Academy and possibly the Royal Library up there. Valeria, can you go, you know my book collection that I have in the back? The really thick, brown, leather-bound book that I keep back there. Can you grab that for me? The human departs. I remember hearing about items like that before in a storybook, though I don't know how much you could take seriously, so to speak. Can I see this item?
Of course. Just be careful. I do not want to see you or any of your wares come harm from this.
I will make sure that I'll probably not cast any spells in its presence or directed at it. Kind of looks it over, plucks a string. Note kind of rings out. You notice though as she plucks the string, how when you play it, it sort of adds ghost notes to it that sort of make it sound more full than it actually is, as it sort of adds its own harmonies. As she plucks the string, it's just a single note that plays.
I'm bloody cursed.
So it plays like a normal harp when she
Yes.
does it.
And she kind of... Now that's fascinating.
Maybe it just really likes you.
I have never seen anything like this of all of my years on this planet. That is, where did you find this? You know what? Better that I didn't ask, actually.
A venturing room of some sorts. We'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Kind of notices the divots that are in it. And do you have any idea what these are?
That is why I'm trying to get it identified.
Fair enough. That's actually concurs a little bit more with my book. At this point, the human comes back out and kind of hands her over her tome, and she kind of grabs it. It's probably about a book that is about this thick, thousands of pages, and she just is like flipping through it kind of rapidly before stopping at a certain point. Yes. Not exactly like this, but still, somewhere around here. I unfortunately did not get the title of this book, but it is from an ancient sort of fable of sorts that describes a grand hero with a magical enchanted weapon long lost to ancients and times, imbued with three... the translations are a little bit rough, but...
Have you? I comprehend languages.
Oh, I only have the translation written in my book. I apologize. The writing here is in Elvish, but from what it was translated to, it was translated from a mix, a sort of mutt of draconic, celestial, sylvan, and elvish that I have not encountered before, and that was just not entirely readable by means mundane or magical. So I did the best that I could in copying it out, but it's Grand Hero, ancient magical weapon long lost to time, imbued with three... I couldn't see whether it was trying to describe crystals, gems, stones, certainly imbued with something. Yes, this part would know its master's touch at first fingertips. Yes, that is the part that kind of rung familiar to me from this. Plus, it talks about 3 stones and gems imbued with power, and your instrument has 3 sort of divots that are sent into it, so it just struck me as somewhat similar and slightly...
Well, I didn't bluntly create the thing.
Well, no, but still, you understand where I'm drawing similarities.
Yes.
So, that is unfortunately all the information that I have of it, but I don't know, it almost seems like something straight out of the storybook, but that certainly, that can't be true, can it? I suppose stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Looks like the elf has found his toy.
It's not too familiar.
You can certainly try.
Do you want me to try?
Were you going to?
To see if I can use compound languages.
Cannot believe you missed that.
Is there writing on
heard
the
it.
book?
I already have comprehension languages. I've comprehension languages right now, and I'm looking at it.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any left. Was there anything else that I can help you with? I apologize, I could not be more help with your very strange item.
Okay, seems like some sort of lead at least.
Indeed, I would definitely recommend the Royal Library and the Academy.
Who would I talk to learn about the enchanting? Because I would like to possibly start as soon as possible.
Oh, that would either be myself. I am Gwynistry, by the way.
So, Miss Nightingale.
Nice to meet you. Nightingale, you say?
Yes.
The gang's all here.
This is starting to become a common trend.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Are you by any chance... never mind.
That is the 3rd time in the last few days. What?
From Waterdeep?
Yes.
Are you part of a noble family? Crest like a nightingale. I just ask because there were, actually they were only in town for a day and they departed yesterday. Some, messengers of sorts, crossed over the bridge, wearing that crest, bearing it, and actually stopped in here to resupply before they left.
What do they look like?
2 rather tall fellows, one with medium-length blonde hair, one with short, kind of cropped brown hair, both human.
Does that ring a bell for me?
You kind of like immediately call to mind kind of 2 of just like the general kind of page boys that work for your father.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw them ride in. Looks like they were heading towards the Palace District, and then they only stayed for a day before they left. Not exactly sure what business they had here. But yeah, it's a shame that you missed them.
Cats are meowing in the distance.
They're
Fighting.
They're playing.
fighting.
They just want attention.
The boy, he come.
Chungus.
But yeah, it's a shame that you missed them. They asked me if I had seen anyone who looked like you, so.
Yes, a shame.
I see.
He wants to see them.
I was able to pick up on that.
I'm right here.
I don't
then
think
I am.
you want to see them.
Then I am glad that I told them that I had not seen
Ignorance
anyone
of
who
spell.
looked like you before, so hopefully that throws them off your track, so to speak. I wish you luck in finding answers to whatever questions you may have.
My
you
faithfulness,
Need
what
any
have you
further
done?
magical goods, we will be here.
You did not mention who the other person would be to do the learning from.
Oh, either myself or one of our missionaries who is currently out.
Name?
We just call her Val. She is currently out. She is currently out with 2 of our other emissaries, so to speak. They go out and they sort of retrieve things for us, make deals.
Who are
They're
they?
talkers. So Val is the one, shorter elf lady. Then taller sun elf, his name is Sol. You see him.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's one that is being kind of sarcastic and a little mean to you, human redhead, her name is Natalie.
What was the first one?
Val.
All personal characters of Pat from our other campaign.
Love you, Val.
Yeah.
Stop.
I think, can we get 2 for that too?
Can we get
I don't
what?
think so.
Oh no. No joke.
Well,
Get me out.
I don't
But
require
if
anything else.
there's nothing else that you need, then thank you for stopping in. Enjoy your new friend.
Oh, we shall.
Kind of reaches up and scratches her head.
Do you
kinda
have food for her that we could purchase?
like,
Or should we just kind of get fresh?
She
game?
eats drow. Oh, nobody. There's a joke anyway. Teach me for making a joke.
I was gonna say, Cat. As you look over, Cat's just like.
And he doesn't look offended. He's just like. He doesn't look offended.
No, we. An Australian will pipe back in. No, we unfortunately don't sell food here.
I wasn't sure if you sold it for the animals or not. But
no, we kind
worries.
of only keep in stock what we need to kind of keep them going. And we
Until
kind
you
of
can sell them.
Yeah, and we get fresh things every day. You know, there's a lot of fresh food, us being directly over a river and all.
Understood.
But to answer my question from earlier, how soon can I start? I can believe this be a mutual benefit relationship.
Where will you be staying?
In Dusttown from the current being, but I'll be going back between the
Sounds
household.
upset about it.
Any place in this town or?
The lovely, lovely
Sirana's
sweets.
place.
Ah, Sandra's place. She is another very good bean.
Sorry, that just
I
was
didn't
out of place.
I didn't intend for it to be that funny, but no, Gwen is called everyone beans for beans. She's called the dragon a bean. Get with it.
Well, I'm going to take my leave. Thank you again very much. I will definitely be back again at some point.
Will we say
shopping
perhaps
together.
today?
We are in the middle of some stuff right now, but if you're going to be staying at the suites, we can send over some messages when we are ready to begin that. We also need to make sure that we have the necessary vellum and magical inks required to transcribe a large amount of spells like that, so to speak.
If it helps, I can give you a list of a few spells that you might find of use.
I would gladly take that.
Okay. I, of course, know Knock, Cure Wounds, Zone of Truth, as well as Comprehend Languages, as you saw and identified.
Very
These
good to know.
could be useful.
Yes, as soon as
Gathering spells.
we can acquire the appropriate goods to make use of those, we will contact you because that would be a great help. Certainly easier than trying to find everything on our own. Nostriana kind of leads you all back up the front. Thea would have led you over to like the armor section again.
So what can I get for 30 gold?
30 gold.
Yeah.
Brace-wise, you mean?
Yeah,
Well, you're
bracer-wise.
going to 30 gold for just bracers.
I mean, it's
All right. Well,
Sold like
we'll
6 before.
She was looking for
Thorn, what can
Yeah,
she
bracers.
get for 30 gold if she's just looking for bracers? Well,
Oh.
let's see. We could do a regular leather for 6 gold pieces. We could do some dyed leather for 8 gold pieces. We might be able to incorporate some stronger metals. I have here a set of bracers that go to a set of chainmail. These would be 14 gold pieces. For 30 gold pieces, let me see. Ooh, these might be some of the finest bracers I have ever made for a half-plate mail set. These will protect your forearms quite fiercely.
But they have to be with a half plate on it.
Oh, no, they're detachable. All the pieces are detachable. They certainly can link together if you are wearing it all as a set. But here, let me show you. And undoes his plate mail that he has on right now. You kind of see purpley sort of drow skin underneath. As he kind of like puts on the
Fendian leaves.
Is he offended?
Just leaves.
I'd say, like, would I be able to wear that and not have problems then?
could certainly try. But he kind of just flips them on, kind of like locks them in and just goes, See? They're detachable. You could certainly wear these and nothing else if you wanted to. This is a very bold fashion choice, but certainly one I would support.
How much?
For these, let's say... 27 gold pieces.
Good deal.
How much to get magical properties added to the leather?
That would depend what magical properties.
More protection?
Oh, I believe actually, you just led them from that room, did you not, Thea? Yeah, would have been good to know before we left.
No, I didn't. I asked what you had.
I thought you meant actual bracers, but what you are looking for, we have bracers of protection. If you are not wearing armor, it can sort of make you a little bit more difficult to hit. We do have a set of those if you are interested.
How much?
Kind of. Gwen, how much for the braces of protection? I know you don't know off the top of your head. Can you just look through the ledger? That seems a little cheap. I know you're looking at the wrong page. I kind of figured that's why I said it was cheap.
Oh, good show.
Thank
I
you.
thought you already left.
That's me,
Yes.
Audie.
Love you too. Kind of says it kind of quiet. Do you say that in character?
Yes.
Just glares at you.
Was he being genuine or was he being a dick?
Genuine.
A genuine dick?
Yes. Best kind.
You don't say.
So many jokes I want to make right now, and I'm just not going to make any of them. After she's done glaring at you, it lasts a good 5 or 6 seconds of just like glaring into your very soul. Turns to you. Yeah. So we only have one set of them right now. They would run you about 1,500 gold pieces.
God!
I'm not interested in that.
Sorry.
Out of character, how much would the leather do for me?
Like as far as your AC goes,
Yeah, or like what, like
fuck all.
yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Aesthetic.
Would the plate mail do anything?
Either A, I would count it as armor, and then you wouldn't get your abilities. All your stealth checks would be made a disadvantage, and your movement speed would be lowered. Or B, I could count it as not armor, and it would do for you fuck all.
Alright. You know.
I don't think you can bypass it.
No, I was about to say you are looking for braces of protection and absolutely nothing else to help you out. Like if we're going full on into the metagame right now, that's what it is.
Well, it was worth a shot. You know, I'm just gonna think on it. Thank you, though.
Yeah, they will certainly be here if you should ever come into Morgul. It seems like it can definitely help you. You don't seem to be very well armored.
I'm fine.
Uh-huh.
Did better than that lot. My last fight.
Looks back and just goes, "That's shocking."
I took
Once
that
again-
too.
Once again, sarcasm dripping in her voice as she looks over the rest of them and just goes, "Shocking," and just walks away.
Are we done here?
Is there anything else you need, or is that going to be it? Should I show you out? Not to be rude, but like,
We'll go.
I also don't want you to get lost. Mainly, it's a lot of rooms in here.
Do we need a new leash for our wormling?
I don't
Like
think
a little harness.
I don't think there are any specific leash laws, and I don't think it's big enough to ride. Well,
I'll carry it.
big enough to ride for any of you at least. We might be able to. Isla, and then from the main room you just hear, "What?" and just kind of like sees her just like gesturing to the dragon, and just goes, "Fuck you." Just kind of like goes back to working on her tools. Might be big enough for her, but probably not big enough to support any of you yet. She's still just a little babe, isn't that right? Kind of like ruffles it. It's just sort of.
I'll still like hold it on my shoulders for now.
But
It's a great dragon.
yeah,
I just
It's a
imagine
great
your like
boy.
knees are starting to shake as the weight.
it's definitely starting to get a little bit heavy, especially every time it gets excited. It's kind of using your shoulders to make biscuits with its talent, so to speak. It's just like
In my mind, like you just see like sweat starting to beat up into my mind. I'm like, do it for the aesthetic.
I'm imagining the meme of the guy with the vein popping up.
Oh God.
Like when you've coughed 6 times in class.
Yeah, no. He pretty, so he's staying on my shoulders for now.
He's a great accessory. Cat.
She.
Well, she. No, we're not playing that game right now. We're not playing that game right now.
What?
The three of them.
I didn't do anything.
Mainly her.
Look, I have a dog in another campaign, and everybody gets it wrong.
Most of the time on purpose now.
Regardless, so she shows you out. You kind of.
It's almost as if it's upsetting to get misgendered.
All
Correct.
around me.
Correct.
Alright, so,
Get out of here.
Back onto topic.
yeah, back on topic. So, all of you depart the shop. It is now like quite late in the afternoon. The sun is beginning to set over the river. You guys have been in there for a couple of hours at this point.
I have an outside of role playing question, but
Yes.
pertains to the campaign. If I were to buy a horse, which I probably will, because he assumes he's going to have to leave the city forever now that the guild and scary rose people all this. How long would it take him, do you think, if he like left within a few hours to get to Harp and then back?
To get to Harp.
The character from his backstory, who lives like a day and a half away.
Well, that would answer your question.
But like he walked.
Probably
don't know how
probably
horse
only a
stuff
day's
works.
ride.
Do you think he'd be able to make it back in time for the council thing?
Isn't that tomorrow noon?
Probably not.
Never mind.
So that'd be a day there, a day back.
Alright, never mind then. I'm just gonna go buy stuff.
What about a really fast horse?
I am probably he is gonna buy a horse regardless. But like a draft horse because
What's the difference between a draft horse and a horse?
draft horse is a little slower.
Oh.
I'm assuming that they would have like stables.
They do have stables in the suites.
Yeah.
So you want to buy a draft horse?
Yeah.
Alright, do you want to RP that or not necessary?
Hello, I'm Fendi and I would like to buy a draft horse.
Right,
can I
yeah.
have a pretty brown horse with a white nose?
We got a white horse with a brown nose.
Nah, so gross.
That works.
Kind of goes in the back. Brings up a horse. It is just like pure black.
Oh, that works too. You know it blends in. And that's 50 gold, I believe, correct? For a draft horse.
It is a human who's charging you for this, so he's going to ask for 55 gold pieces.
Nice. Only
I'm
54.
gonna be like, I believe this is a shakedown. That I know that they're 50 gold, and you're like a persuasion check.
Yeah, as he responds, where in the monster manual did you read that?
What?
Nothing. He's making fun of your metagaming and knowing the prices of things from books.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind then. I'll just give him 55 gold then.
No, you can roll persuasion if you'd like to actually persuade him to pay.
I thought I was
barter
supposed
with
to look
them.
up the prices of things before we bought it.
No.
I thought that was what you're supposed to do. That's why they have a whole thing of it.
For the DM.
It's in the player's,
For the
it's in the
DM.
player's manual.
Or if you played like gold style starting equipment.
Oh,
If you do
sorry.
start
I
gold.
wasn't trying to meta. I thought I was
But
just
no,
trying
you could roll for it, because I'd love to see how this happens.
Oh, no.
Roll play it, my friend.
No, it's less than 10.
Yeah, stock's a little low. You hear like loud neighs in the back. Clearly stock is not very low.
I know your game. Here's 55 gold.
Thanks, taking care of him.
I shall. Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You should have been like, I'm eating him.
And then before you take him away, he does throws a saddle on him, kind of loads up some tack and stuff,
Well,
loads
that
up
was
some
nice
food on
of
the
him.
side.
That was what the 5 gold was for.
Yeah.
Fendi's gonna cry in his bed.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Yes. I buy the horse.
What?
Those of you that did not hear, our tech version just said claimed.
But yeah, I buy the horse, lead it back to the stable, and then I'll just like try to find the group when they're doing their general shopping, as to not like
So,
be on my own
group
forever.
does general shopping. Is there anything else that anyone else really wants to buy?
I'll buy clothes another time because I have not drawn him new clothes yet.
Fair enough.
Soon.
Alright, so you start to make your way back to the suites, where you notice a very peculiar thing as you get back there.
What?
You're
Is it on
walking.
fire?
Yes. No.
Yes.
We didn't burn down the tavern that quick.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It is an L-shaped building.
Uh-huh.
Fairly large. The entire front portion, bottom floor, is all the bar. Though now, this is the front, and kind of with an L shape like this towards the back. Towards the back now, there is an outside entrance to this. There is a circular sort of wooden tower that's a little bit askew. It kind of fits in the general aesthetic of Dusttown, where it's looks pretty in a sort of like ragtag, hodgepodge, slapped together patchwork sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a tower that extends up about 4 stories, so about 40 feet up in the air. Kind of all comes to like a circular point, as it is maybe, oh goodness, maybe 25 feet in radius. So about 50 feet wide is the tower. So the tower is almost as wide as the L part of the building itself. Was not there before.
It's gonna blow
and
up.
it kind of it's sort of like a quarter of it is occupied by like the best way. So like if the building's here and the building ends at a point like this, the tower kind of goes like this, sort of like 3/4 of a circle around where this is. Extends 4 stories up before coming to a point, and then at the very top of it is a sort of like gear, sort of almost a device that seems to be keeping the time. It's like a couple like exposed gears that are kind of like going around, sort of keeping like a almost like a is that an analog clock? Is that the right word of thinking of? That kind of ticks
Yes.
like this. Not a digital clock, an analog clock.
So it's
there
a
we
clock
go.
tower.
Essentially, of sorts, like an exposed primitive sort of like patchwork clock tower at the top of this.
Every purchase it blow up.
Do a bunch of soldiers file out of it?
Nope.
Like the horse?
It's just there. Though everyone that is passing this is kind of like looking up at it and just being like,
Inside?
what?
Can I insight?
Insight check a tower?
You can tell it's
Well-
very suspicious.
Well, like, what I mean is, like, can I, like, check it out and figure out where, like, what the
Investigation?
fuck?
Roll for
Yes,
investigation.
investigation is what I was looking for. It's
Yeah, roll investigation. But everyone who's walking by on the streets as you're watching this is kind of like looking up at this and just like kind of like
12.
it's a tower, and it looks like it's properly built. It's holding at the very least. It is slightly askew, probably in between 5 and 7 degrees to the right. But it's still standing. Everyone is walking by. Most people are just kind of like looking up at it and just sort of like all as they pass by and are just like,
Does it look like there's any, like, building materials left around? Like,
nope.
I don't
although-
think.
Although there is like one person who walks by who looks up and just kind of like chuckles. It's like an older man who just kind of chuckles to himself. He's sure under his breath just, God damn it, Sandra, and just kind of like chuckles to himself and walks away.
I guess I'll walk to the back.
Yes, Sylvanus.
I'm checking for I do have a question. Is it because I did take a good look at Kat's tools and weapon, and also my little German friend that's back in the castle who we saved from it. Does it look like any of their stuff?
No.
Okay.
It looks like almost like a natural extension of the suites, and it's just sort of like built onto it.
Okay.
Although when you did your investigation, are you going like closer to it, kind of like peering around the corner to look at it?
Yeah.
Even more curious, as you peer around the corner, it's 4 stories tall in the sense that it goes up to about 40 feet before it peaks, and then the next probably 15 feet is like the clock tower part. It doesn't touch the ground.
It what?
You look, and it is like probably 10 feet of just open space, and then the floor starts sort of on like flush with the second floor of the suites, and it's just sort of like hanging there, connected to it, just sort of like flush, kind of leaning slightly, but just attached.
Wait,
to the
wait, wait.
suites.
So wait. The whole tower is not on the
Touching
ground.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's why it's leaning.
So it is only 30 feet of tower as you look aside. It is like if this were like the side of the suites, it starts here and just goes up.
So I'll walk into the bar, and is Sandra there?
As you walk into the bar, Sandra is not only there, but she is sitting on the bar top, like legs dangling over the front of it. Just sort of as you enter, just like immediately looks
Just
at you,
puzzled.
a shit-eating grin on her face.
So I kind of look at her and like motion to the door a little bit and go, What the fuck is that?
Find a way to accommodate a few people?
That's a door, my dear.
The tower, clearly.
Oh, well, I told you all that I was going to give you permanent room and board here. Well, room here, rather, so to speak. And I certainly can't have you taking up all of my regular rooms, so I had to accommodate you somehow. And I figured like this, you do not take up any of my regular rooms. I continue to make rent like I was, and you guys get a tower to live in.
We
It
were
was
only gone
2
a few
rooms.
hours.
Correct. A few more hours than I needed.
It was also 2 rooms.
Well, now you have a full tower. And the tower has lots of rooms in it, to be fair. I feel like I've more than upheld my end of the bargain.
That's for sure.
How did you build it that fast?
Is it legal?
Clearly not. It's not touching the ground.
Is anything in the Dust Town legal?
At this point, I'm assuming nothing
You took the words right out of my mouth. There's certainly no homeowners association that is going to come and close me down because of it.
I'll just start
And
cracking up.
Plus, I feel like I'm going to be completely honest with you. Maybe there's someone up there that would like to do something about it up in the Merchants Guild and maybe in the Noble District. But being perfectly honest, she kind of like puts her hands together, kind of clapping, pulls them apart, and there's just like an unbelievably powerful just arc of lightning in between her hands as she does it before she closes her hands and snaps it out. I would love to watch them try. Winks and kind of swings off of the bar and kind of goes and walks behind the counter again.
Can I
Is
go
it
to?
safe?
I trust it.
Can
Yes.
I go into the
It's
tower?
leaning. Was it supposed to lean?
Yeah, that was actually an intended design. I was kind of hoping for it to sort of, don't want to make this place too nice. They might start taxing us more.
Talk about having a lien on a home.
Can I go into the tower part and check out the rooms?
In character.
You certainly can, but before you do, we are going to go to break.
Yeah.
So we will be taking a 15-minute break real quick. When we come back, you guys will be exploring your new living situation, having your meeting with Sandra, and after that, possibly even getting to your meeting with one of the council members. So, with that, we look forward to seeing all of you in 15 minutes, and we will be right back. Bye!
Bye.
Hello. Gotta hate you guys sometimes. Why am I friends with all of you? Welcome back to the Unlucky Few. We are back from our break. We're ready to get right back into it, right, everybody? In the right mindset to do this? Yeah, let's go. Don't even need a second to warm up. All right, so you guys just walked into the lobby upon discovering a new addition of sorts to the suites. The wonderful, wonderful dessert Lotus. Upon questioning, Sandra seemed that she has apparently constructed this herself and walked away sort of cackling. All of you are currently just standing in a...
I go up
Go up?
into the
So-
tower.
So is my room no longer in the suites? I'm booted to the tower.
Walking back out from the counter, she is holding a set of keys. That would be correct, unfortunately. Can't just go giving away all of my rooms for free when I could have people be paying for them. So, yes, apologies for that. But, let's see. So, it's going to be a set of keys for you.
Cool.
And for you. And for...
I have a home.
You?
Sorry!
Could I perhaps have Fenimans? Because as you know, like a paying rare, I'm not sure if she's already here or not.
Oh, she's already up in the tower.
Okay.
She recently returned from the up at the palace.
Wait a minute.
She had a couple of guests with her as well.
A pair?
Indeed.
Wow.
Noted.
You know what they say about 3 people in a room?
What do
There's
they
3
say,
people in the
Kai?
room.
More than 2 people in a room.
What?
And I get a
It's-
set too, right?
Yes. She said it's more than 2 people in a room, which I thought was like probably the most basic joke that I could make, but it somehow still.
Woo!
Could I perhaps defer my room space to my friend so she doesn't live on my couch anymore? She's like 7 feet tall.
Nope.
The ceilings aren't that high.
Oh, wonderful. Friends are a great thing.
Oh,
mean,
but
you
no.
could-
I did actually. So I gave a set of keys to her companion, and then a set of keys to one of the people that she brought in. I believe. Well, yeah, you traveled with Gab, did you not?
I have.
Well, then yeah, she's one of the people up there currently with Rare, as well as Gab's older sister. If you are familiar with her.
I am.
Fair enough then.
Are they moving in?
Doubtful.
I believe Colette lives elsewhere, but Gab seemed, as she put it, oh my god, yay, a sleepover. Except it's forever.
Right.
I want
Is
to go
it
check
really
out the
good?
room. I want to go check it out.
Oh my god.
Oh, and then
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
we can
Peace
get
2 as
to
well,
another
she hands on to
tower.
Cat. Cat kind of like swirls her keys and just looks at you and just goes, we have a
Aw.
tower.
We do have a race. Can I?
She takes off running.
I'll follow her.
Could I
Make
possibly,
a
in revenge for the shock, just stick out my foot?
No!
Casually.
Make
I
a-
jumped over it.
make a sleight of hand check. Make an
Sleight of foot check.
Go home.
Immediate fail.
Not the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
They do look like candy.
Do you look like candy? No.
Crunchy,
Make a sleight of
crunchy
hand check.
candy.
Make a first make an athletics check.
Okay. Oh.
That's a nat 20.
That's a 9.
That's a 10.
Running and I oop.
Oh!
Ooh.
So I immediately trip over it and you just hear smack.
Yeah, I was gonna say
very
face,
hard.
face first on the ground. Cat like almost stops for a second as she turns around, kind of like looks at like as she's running, looks at you, looks at the foot, looks up at Syl, looks back at you, looks back at Syl, and just starts cackling as she's running.
T laughs hard enough that she has to take a seat.
Chiron will remember this.
Revenge.
He
Make
doesn't
a
need a very
make an acro or make just a general dexterity check as you attempt to catch up to Cat, but you'd have to beat her by a
I'll
good deal.
I'll glare at
two.
Syl and I'll point at him and just be like, I will get you later. And
That's
then
revenge for the
what
shock.
check was it?
Just a general dexterity check.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't even look at it because I was scared.
She rolled a 19.
18. Fuck!
You managed to catch up to her quite a bit, because she's a little busy, like, cackling. You hear, like, as she gets to, like, the stairwell to get up to the second floor, you can hear just, like, shouted down the hall, "Thanks, Syl!" She gets up
Can I
there.
try to grab her by the back of the shirt as she's running up?
She's
too
unfortunately
fast.
just ahead of you, and she gets there just right before you. Kind of, like, tags the door, and then kind of turns around, her tongue already, like, sticking out.
Damn.
That
Alright,
was
so,
a nice trip.
so wait, are we in the same room now?
Not setting character.
What's the room look like?
Take 2 points of psychic damage.
I mean,
No, you don't actually take 2 points of psychic damage. Stop it.
2 points of stupid damage.
No, you're currently outside of the.
I mean, I
currently
have
outside
the
of room.
lowest.
Is anyone else going
intelligence.
up, or is it
I'm
just
going in the room.
is it just Cat and
I want to be at the top room.
or is it just
Is
Cat
it
and
like one level
You-
all the rooms are on?
you don't know? You're currently standing outside the door. You haven't
I'm
unlocked it
coming
yet.
in!
Okay, but I'm also asking: is everyone else following, or are you all sitting
I mean, Sam just gonna have the talk with us in the bar, right?
After hours.
after hours?
Yeah, I'll just like wait in the bar because I would have no reason to go up into the tower.
Isn't it like only lunchtime?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was like
No,
evening.
it's evening.
evening.
It's
Oh,
later.
okay.
She would like ask if you want dinner or something.
Yeah, I'd order dinner and then just like chill.
Alright, you following as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Alright, cool.
guess.
Alright, so you actually, as you're we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to you first.
Sorry.
You get pulled aside as you're going up, but we'll get to that in a hot second. So you throw open the you and Cat unlock the doors, throw it open. The first floor, which is actually like 10 feet in the air because it's attached to the second floor. There's kind of like it's a door that hilariously is also slightly askew, like the tower, like how the door frame runs like this. The door frame is literally like 7 degrees.
Oh, I
this
hate
way-
that.
This way, and still going across like this, so that it's almost like a it's like a parallelogram almost
Ew.
instead of a rectangle as a door.
I don't like
And
that.
kind of like Cat like goes in and just like and just kind of like walks in slightly tilted.
I love that. Oh, I love her.
But you get inside, and it's everything is still like sitting flat, which is weird in its own right.
Everything is a parallelogram.
At this, well, no, it's sitting flat, so it's not like everything's like slanting this way. It's like slanted on the outside, but on the inside, it seems to have maintained its sense of balance to an extent.
That would suck if you're drunk and the floor was just tilted.
I feel like
But
they're
you
coming in
open
fast.
up the door, and like there is a wall directly to your left, as there is like the extension from the actual suites itself.
Okay.
But the rest of it opens up to a circle, and in a large, like 3/4 of a circle, you see directly in front of you is like a living space of sorts. Has like some nicer couches and chairs that are sitting there. To the left of that appears to be a dining area. There is a long table with two seats at the head of the table. It is wide enough to accommodate that. And then 8 seats on each side of the table, so big enough to seat. Fuck math. 20 people. Haha, I graduated college. And then in the final kind of third of the area is like a kitchen of sorts. There's like a kind of like a wood burning stove there. A couple different like sort of like makeshift like ovens that you can kind of like slide things in and out of. That the wood kind of like heats up and cooks. Kind of a place where you can kind of put a pot over to make like a stew or something like that, as well as like a kind of like counter space to do like a lot of prep work and such. It's a fairly nice setup. It is not as nice as some of the most aristocratic homes that you visited, but you would certainly place this as like the first floor of like a minor noble in niceness.
Now, the bedroom.
There are no bedrooms on the first floor, though there is in the far section of, well, actually no, not in the far section, kind of almost attached right where the edge, where like the two walls of the suites kind of meet and it sort of opens up like this, like right here where the walls meet. There is a spiral staircase.
Oh, so this isn't like we all have separate rooms. It's like almost like an apartment. So like there's a common area for all of us and then separate bedrooms.
It appears to be a common area consisting of a living room, dining room, and kitchen on the first floor at least.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
I get the feeling this is going to be a very communal living situation.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna have some fun.
Roommates.
Oh my god.
And they
good
were
roommates.
roommates.
Alright,
So I want to check out the bedrooms.
alright, so you go up the stairs and there is oh boy, how to even describe this. So we're getting out the visual aids. Wow, that didn't go as terrible. Oh no, never mind. It's pretty terrible.
Just remember, the whole place is slanted, so you have some give.
I knew I did it on purpose.
It's just like if I make this whole thing like weird, then when I draw it, it won't matter how bad it looks.
Don't worry about it.
Forget about it.
Does anyone remember if we have to pay to sleep here?
No.
No, she said she was giving it
It's
to you
free.
for free.
She built this
I
whole
just realized
thing.
2 of my spells do not require a component,
Nice.
which I can use to torture people.
So, one thing I will say, there is a lot of windows in this place. It's letting in a lot of natural light, and especially as you come up into the hallway that comprises the second floor of the tower, it's towering 3 stories in the air, and it is atop the suites. There aren't a lot of tall buildings here, so it is catching literally all of the sunlight. But you come in here.
Ooh.
There is a long sort of oop, and I oop.
Whoop.
There is a long hallway that you come into with 2 doors on either side of the hallway.
Mhm.
Looking into the one, there is a very, very large bedroom comprising probably close to maybe 35-40% of the actual space in the tower. And keep in mind, this tower has a radius of, oh, what did I say?
Like 50
Like
feet?
50 feet, yeah. No, it had a radius of like 35 feet, so it had a diameter of 70 feet.
So a large.
So this is like 35 feet across right
Okay,
here, and
so-
this is like almost like 65 feet here.
Yeah.
But this is a very large bedroom. It has like dressers, wardrobes in it and everything, with 3 large queen size beds in it. and directly across is the same, kind of like almost the same thing. Once again, like huge.
We can't see it from here.
Oh, can they not see?
Ignore me.
Does that feel like when your tech person attempts to make hand signals at you to get your attention and then says to ignore him?
I thought you said steal third base.
I'm trying to get the cat's
There's a
attention.
hallway that separates 2 rooms of 3. Okay.
So when I walk into the bedroom and I see that there are 3 beds, I go across the hall, check the other one, see it's basically the same thing. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. There are like entire stretches where like here, and here, probably like 15 feet at a time, are all floor to ceiling. The rooms in here are about 12 feet. The ceiling's about 12 feet tall, like really high. Floor to ceiling windows, and like paneless. So it is just one sheet of glass that is like curved perfectly, like 15 feet long, 12 feet high.
But you said it looks like it goes full stories up? Or no?
There is still like more to the spiral staircase. We can go up even further.
I'll just kind of mumble to myself like, I guess we gotta buy some curtains.
And then at the end, you would go in here, and there are 2 washrooms that look very similar to the one that you had at the Elfsong Tavern.
I'll look at Kat and be like, don't flood this one.
She kind of like looks up and sees the same mechanism for the shower, and just, oh god, and just immediately shuts the door, and it's just like too soon.
She's gonna need a shower buddy.
Don't look at me.
I'm looking in general.
He's not leaving his home to help this woman
Not
shower.
it for that.
I want to go back into the bedroom and can you hold it up again? Can I claim this corner bed?
You certainly can if you'd like.
I want the corner.
I go up to the next floor, really, really hoping there's another bedroom.
Wait, I hope there's not,
I'll
because
go
then I
up
would.
the next
want
floor.
Next episode, Kai and T fight for the bed.
Just like
Not
that
the way
episode
we
of
thought.
Flavor of Love.
Is there anything anyone else is doing as T is going up the stairs?
Keep an eye out for the 3 people that came here before us.
They're all down on the first floor, but
Okay.
we'll get to them in a second. I just wanted to describe
Oh
everything
wait,
to
no,
them
you
as
put
first.
me inside. I can't go up.
Yep.
That's okay. We probably get to see after.
Probably.
The night's still young.
Technically, I already have a room with Luna. Wait, we gotta pay for that one.
You still can use the common area here.
Come again?
You can still use the common area here. The common area.
Yeah. I got a key. I mean,
So is T.
We
So,
just find
you
a
get
lounge.
Key do you have?
What? Oh.
Can you get 7
Ben
points
is
of
the first to
suspense?
die.
Okay, I'll send you
7.
down.
I was gonna say, in the bottom of Penny is just like, oh, what kind of tea? just strokes out on the ground.
Betcho.
So you get up to the 3rd floor. This is all bookshelf. Sort of, and like floor to ceiling bookshelf. It looks like its own custom library. All the bookshelves are unfortunately empty.
Wow.
Rip, babe. There are a number of desks sitting here that all have kind of like candles on them. They could be lit to do work. There is like ink stored there. It looks like blank journals, pieces of paper, things like that. As well as kind of like a reading section here where there are like a couple couches, a few chairs. But this seems to be like a library of sorts. And then sort of in the middle of the bookshelves, there's like a small part where there is a ladder.
Library, books not included.
There's obviously a ladder on each section of bookshelves. As the break is like right about here.
So it's a ladder for the bookshelves. It's not like another floor
No.
up.
There are ladders that go to each section of bookshelf, and then there is like a 5-foot gap where there is just a 5-foot wide ladder that seems to lead up into like a small slot in the roof that could be pushed off.
Why the hell not?
It's probably the inside of
I
the clock
sigh very
tower.
deeply and go up.
Up top, you are now looking at the almost fully night sky on top of the. It's odd. You can, as you like peek your head out, see the sky, but you know that there is like a conical roof that comprises the top of
That's cool.
of this tower, and you can kind of see like a faint glimmer where the roof would be, and yeah, that is about it. Other than that, there is a couple like a sort of crisscross X shaped walkway here, with each quarter being their gardens, rooftop gardens.
Like flower gardens, vegetable gardens.
There seems to be one that is flowers, one that is mostly fruits, one that is mostly vegetables, and then a couple trees that have kind of like different things growing on them.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, you see a faint glimmer where the roof would be, if you would like to explore that at all.
Your what?
There's a faint glimmer kind of going along where you assumed like the roof should be, rather, so to speak, when you saw this from the outside. I don't know how you would like to explore that at all, if you would like to.
It's magic. We can see out, but they can't see in, Mr. Saul.
No.
No.
Take a silver piece.
I
Flip
sigh.
it.
Goes through it,
Alright, that part's weird.
and then comes back down, ting, 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 falls to the ground, falls off of it.
Interesting.
Oh, so wait, it went through the roof from inside?
It went through
but
the
then
roof from
it
inside,
hit...
and then tinged from the outside and fell down.
I just sigh again and I head back down to the bedrooms. There's 6 beds in total?
Yeah.
So it would seem.
I just make another groan and I keep heading back down to the first floor.
Alright, so head back down to the first floor. First, we will get to you. The person that pulls you aside is Luna.
Yay!
She pulls you aside and just goes, "So, how'd it go?"
Went pretty well. There was these giant spiders and this weird mouth creature.
Don't you dare look over here.
But that was kind of the only hiccup. No, it wasn't. There was also some dudes that someone tried to kidnap me. Did
Tried
I
to
mention
kidnap-
that? No.
No?
Someone from the guild tried to kidnap me.
You said the guild?
Yeah.
Wow, you certainly know how to piss off all the wrong people, but that's alright. That'll be exciting.
Thank you very
I have a
much.
question for you then.
I got an answer.
So Sandra, you know Sandra.
Yeah.
She came up to me and she knocked on the door of our room, and when I opened it up, she handed me this set of keys.
Oh, dope.
And
Sorry.
I asked her what I would need these for, and she just looked at me, and then she started laughing, and then she shut the door and walked away. Why did she give me keys?
You want to have a new living arrangement?
Kind of like looks at like the plain room behind her, just like a new from this.
Kinda.
All right, where are we going?
I don't know. I haven't been in there yet.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. And just like kind of grabs her stuff and is now coming along.
Is so adorable.
Let's rock. Let's go.
Are we leaving the suites?
Nope. We're going outside the suites. On the outside of the suites.
So like outside, and she starts kind
You
of turning
okay?
towards to go towards the entrance.
Do we have to go out the entrance to get there?
No, the entrance on the second floor.
Oh, entrance on the second floor. No. Okay. The building is on the outside of the suites, but the entrance is on the second floor.
You know what? I'm gonna stop asking questions. That's never solved any problems in my life anyway. It just kind of follows you.
Okay. Then we'll get there eventually.
Alright, so the three of you, after you explore, there is Gab as well as Colette are currently having like an animated conversation with Rare. For anyone who, you sure you don't want to come with? I don't want to exclude your character.
Oh,
from shit.
it just doesn't make sense for Fendian to go in there.
No, but they might want to. It might be like, you're not going to live at your friend's apartment, but you're going to come check it out real quick to see like what sweet digs they got.
I mean, if somebody invites him, he'll go. But you guys don't
You
have
want to come
feel...
in.
Oh, thank goodness, yes. I
I
wasn't
just-
sure if I was
I
allowed.
was going to say, I just didn't want you being like super bored for this and
Oh,
not having like a chance
I mean,
to like,
I'm
argue
enjoying
or
the
anything.
descriptions and everything. It's okay.
Alright,
Animated how?
like they're just kind of like very
Okay,
like
I
into
know,
the,
like, angry,
no, like
happy.
they're very into the conversation they're having. It's
They're fucking cartoons, my
it's-
dude.
yes, it's
I do.
You know what? I take back that invitation.
his little ears.
Vote!
5 more points of psychic damage.
I'm sorry, King. Hands extra down.
Be careful.
All right. But no, it's mainly just like, Rare's like talking for like 30 seconds, followed by Colette talking for 30 seconds, and Gab just like,
Talking for like 5 minutes.
no, Gab was just
Wow.
the entire time, like back and forth between them. For anyone who has not seen these characters before, everyone has seen Gab and knows her description. Rare is.
She is a red tiefling. She is about Sylvanus' height. Has long black hair that goes down the middle of her back with like 2 horns that like curl side of her head. Wears like a long, like flowing, almost like commoner's like dress with like almost like a brown apron in the front. Where Sylvanus seems to be more quiet, muted, cold, or sarcastic, she's more lively. Every movement's almost like a skip. Every conversation almost has like a giggle to it. Very animated type of person.
Got you. And then Colette, if I can bring up her things very quickly. You would see a woman that looks a lot in the face like Gab does. The only difference is being she is a couple inches taller. She has the same kind of like pale, kind of gray blue eyes, same really pale like alabaster skin. But she has brown hair. And same pointed ears as well. She has a pair of glasses on and is kind of like talking to the tiefling as you all approach. Finally seeing you, Rare kind of like waves you over.
I of course go over.
Anyone else that would like to join May? Rare is. So, what kind of trouble have you been getting up to? Certainly.
Trouble.
Well, you have a new toy that I have not seen before, and also you had a tower constructed for you. I must admit, we do typically make quite a splash wherever we go, but you seem to have jumped into the deep end right away this time.
The tower was not my idea, nor anyone in the group. That was all Sandra's doing. I believe part of it is spite to the city itself.
I like that. So, the thing on your back then?
Yes, the instrument. It was something that we found on our little quest.
Interesting. What does it do?
Well, for starters, if anyone identifies or tinkers with it, it casts ice at them, which has been quite an amusing spectacle, but a dangerous one at that.
From behind you, just hear cat. Right. I will be sure not to do that then. That would be. Yeah, we're just not going to do that. Does it do anything else?
Well, no. Like I said, I tried to have it identified and did not work. It almost seemed to rise in defense of itself, and it automatically attuned to me. And so far, the places I've gone to have it any type of information has only led to more questions, no more leads, and quite a lot of frustration.
Fair enough. Well, that hopefully we can get to the bottom of that. I would probably recommend maybe us taking a trip to the library or something tomorrow.
That's what I plan to do.
Yes, that is where I've spent the last couple of days. I have unfortunately, much like you, not really uncovering much. Unfortunately, finding more questions than answers, so to speak. Although there were some friends here yesterday of sorts.
I heard.
Indeed, I personally did not talk to them, but I witnessed them going into and out of the castle.
Any idea of where in the castle?
Uh,
I do have a meeting there tomorrow, and I do not want to have something sprung on me that they're trying to hold information over my head to force me to do something of their
I am not sure where in the castle. I just know that they entered. They were not in the library when I was there. I believe I saw them coming out of the wing where the councilmen have their offices.
all but one. Colette's, because from what we saw, her office was on the library's top floor.
So I'm meeting with her tomorrow.
Colette is like
I hope
Colette kind of laughs as you say this. Dear, I am unbelievably, incredibly flattered that you think that I am important enough to be a councilman of this fair city, but alas, I am not. I am simply someone who knows a lot of things and teaches people things. I am nowhere near that important, tragically. Out of character, the councilman are the 4 people that rule over the city of Baldur's Gate. Colette is a, what is the word I wish to use here?
Clerk?
No, she's a courtier, if you will.
Mhm.
Someone who teaches maybe children of the councilman and sort of like kind of acts as like a scholar for the nobility and has an office up there. But
It's just like a
she is
tutor.
not a councilman. Yes, she is kind of like a royal tutor almost.
I think she might just like slip the word by accident, and that was why I assumed she was one.
Yes.
Because I had in my note that she was one.
Whoops.
It happens.
Yeah, she is. Unfortunately, no, I am nowhere near that important, tragically. But Rarewood could,
elections coming up?
yeah, Rarewood could. They are not elected. It is sort of a family thing. Once you have power forever.
Yeah, I definitely have seen that.
I can already assume who one is. That is Finn's father.
Monarchs be like that.
Yes. It would appear that his family has some control, though I think actually, and I was just asking, kind of points to Colette. It is not Finn's father, but rather Finn's mother that has the power, so to speak, of the seat.
You know, when we last spoke, you did not know of Finn.
I have learned my shortcomings and mistakes that I have been making in that regard in recent days. It appears there was simply some information that I was not aware of at the time.
Does Finn know what happened?
No, but I'm... You said you have a meeting with the councilman tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There is to be not necessarily a ceremony, but a small royal soiree of sorts up there, so I'm sure you will get to see him upon that. Well, he probably won't wish for you to see him, but if you do catch sight of him, you will probably be aware of where my mistake came from.
Yes, and I know Finn would be quite upset to hear that, you know, a almost arrest happened, but after all, you were just doing your job.
You're right, I was just doing my job. What would you do if strange people started poking around your family's library?
It happens all the time.
So, I just imagine I was like eavesdropping.
Yeah.
There's a soiree tomorrow.
I was just thinking. Oh, not that I was listening. I have to dress nice.
Like
This-
what time? Because we're there at noon, and I don't like.
The soiree is earlier in the morning. It's not necessarily a soiree where outsiders are invited. It is
Aw.
more just
We're fine.
a meeting upon a couple of the children and the councilmen and a few of the important royal family are all getting together to have like a breakfast of sorts and discuss some things and then part their ways and go about their daily meetings. It is not like a gala or a full-on ball or anything like that. It's not anything you should be concerned with.
Unfortunately.
I believe you will be arriving near the end of it for your meeting with the councilman.
Don't have to plan an outfit.
Kai just looks
This is-
disappointed.
This is what I got.
Yes, well,
It's very nice.
In the time between
It's not being
when
sarcastic. It's just being
we
nice.
saw the rooms and the thing we have going on tonight, how long of a gap is there?
basically none.
Oh no, okay.
Not if you're going to get like a little bit settled into your rooms anyway, because right now the only thing I have is
It's gonna go buy a curtain. Yeah.
that's it.
You can put up the sheets.
But
Take-
then I would have no sheets.
Well, from like a bed that's not being used.
We have more people with us than there are beds.
Okay, well.
Unfortunate.
Well, who doesn't have a mini? That's whose sheets gonna get taken.
I just swiped the sheets from a random. No, I'm gonna go by. Can I draw it on there just for later reference?
What?
I was gonna draw like a dotted line where he would hang the curtain up when I
You
get
could
one.
you could just write it in your
Why
notes.
We could write it into our notes. We could
so
also
you
just
can
wait.
see it on.
We could also just wait until our meeting with Sandra.
That works too.
But still.
You can always ask her for
Sandra, some
extra
extra sheets,
pair
please.
of
Ask her
sheets
for
that
sheets
she
for
owns
tonight.
a
I have
freaking...
some like wood and drywall and a door
And bricks, and mortar,
soundproofing.
and an alarm system.
I don't want to hear that.
Whoa.
Hear what?
Whoa. Call out.
I'd say that's the best alarm system you could ask for.
Yike.
Just
2
Kai
a.m. is
polishing
the
some
perfect
swords.
time to wake up.
It's an alarming system. Not alarming.
Did he say that character? Oh.
Regardless, bring it all back in. Bring it all back in. Bring it all back in.
Anyways, meeting with Cassandra, Sandy.
You'll get it eventually.
Sandy, I think she.
Sandra. It's the only one whose name I'm sure of.
Yes. So,
She'll be Sandy
you're meeting with
Jimmy
her
at some
soon.
point.
Is there anything anyone would like to do before we get there?
Sheets.
Aside from sheets.
From
What
when
was
I
better?
mentioned the harp, was there any type of recognition from Colette or... What was that?
It was outside noises.
Our tech guy is fidgeting around.
Everything is okay. Let's continue.
All right. So, you see if there's any sort of recognition in Colette's eyes. She kind of like, upon you describing it, is kind of like closely kind of inspecting it from its position on your back. Just, do you mind if I see that for a second?
Uh-oh.
You know the answer to that.
Cool. Then let me see it for a second.
You would hand it over.
Kind of takes a look at it. Kind of like strokes a finger down the one arm of it. It's cold. Interesting.
Pluck.
Plays the multifaceted note and just like, huh, that's fascinating. She plucks it. Same effect.
Knew it. Bloody knew it. I'm gonna throw it in the fire.
Wait, is Colette related to him?
No.
Why are you laughing?
Why? Like, there's so many answers to that question, and that's the one that, like, they're not even the same race.
I don't remember what race she is. I don't even have it written in my notes.
She hasn't said. She looks like she might be an elf of some sort, maybe.
Or also, you know, look at her sister, who's definitely, sort of, at least a bit, Ganassi.
Yeah, there's that too.
Not my backstory,
Does
not my
your
problem.
does your face betray that surprise when she plucks it and it makes the
No.
notes?
Like I said, I freaking knew it.
Huh, that's interesting.
Believe for around fire is what I'm gonna do.
I'm sorry, what was that? That's what I thought. Kind of goes back to observing it, kind of looks over the three. I feel as though I'm out of my element on this one. I have absolutely no idea what it could be. If I'm being honest. You are, I believe your companion here, gestures to Rare, has the best idea. I believe the library would be the best source to look at this. I will even allow you unfettered access to the higher floors of the library this time.
We've seen a book that gives as close a description as possible of this item, and that gave nothing.
Well,
The library is always a good place to start.
I do not know what to tell you. Maybe ask our wonderful gnome friend up at the
Oh no.
hopefully he will not have an army with him this time. Hasn't been any incidents since you've left, so that's a good sign at least.
I was only gone for 3 days.
3 days is asking an awful lot from that man, to be completely honest. But, regardless, I do not know what this could be. I have some hypotheses.
Are you going to tell me them?
No.
Definitely throw in the fucking fire.
She kind of chuckles as she hands it back to you. Walks away.
How far was this window? Just for out of character reference.
20 feet. Why?
Nothing.
Mhm.
Just very tempted.
So why do you think it worked for her like it works for you?
Well, for one, she's a bard much like I am. We're unlikely from the same school. And from the rest I've seen string from so far are not bards. I highly doubt it has anything to do with my family line because none of us has ever done anything remotely heroic. Most of my family are slime balls.
Got him.
So it's just a bard thing.
That's the only thing I think of as a bard thing because the story made it sound like it was a bard because what kind of hero will go around stringing a harp instead of using a sword or spell?
Well, maybe you should ask Autumn. To meet the one that's mute in there.
Autumnalis?
Yes, Autumn.
Have her pluck it, see if it's the same thing. I think she's a bard. She has a violin.
She is. She has so much as confirmed to me, but I do not
She
know
has a
what
violin.
school she falls under.
Well, what school do you fall under? Colette asks you.
I don't know. You were.
My deception is okay. Nah, who knows? Glamour.
We are not from the same school then.
Could just be a bard thing. Perhaps the strings of fate are intertwined.
You can obviously not
Hashtag
answer
just
this
bard
question if you
things.
don't feel comfortable to. Is there any Fae bloodline in your family lines at all? I'm not talking like elf. I'm talking actual Fae.
That's a bit much to ask somebody.
I said she could not answer if she does not feel comfortable to do so.
Correct!
I do not believe so. The Feywild and the elemental planes of chaos are two very different places, are they not?
Yes, but that's the only thing I could come with any type of string to attach the two is because glamour colleges tend to be ones that learn from Fae.
No, perhaps it is. Perhaps it is simply a bard thing, though perhaps you may also, as it has attuned to you, perhaps it may do things for you that it would not do for someone else.
Right now it's giving me frustrations.
Well, perhaps there is a, Actually, have you put it back on your back yet or no?
No.
You still holding it?
He's like, I don't want to say holding it arm's length, but like holding it like 2 fingers by a string, like almost like dangling from his hand.
She kind of like looks at the shape for a second and goes, actually, I may have a place we can start to look when you get to the library. Come meet me once you are there after you're done your meeting with the councilman. The book that you were referring to, did it mention some sort of how did it put it? Weapon of old, of ancients. 3 crystals or gems imbued with power.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I see you have met some of our friends down at Zenim then. Well, I have a few theories. We'll have places to look when we get there to the library. Well, I shall see you all tomorrow then. Kind of like gives a pointed look to Gab. Don't stay up too late. Turns and she departs. It's now
So out of character, I know Autumnalis. T does not.
It is now the 5 of you plus Cat plus Gab plus Rare. And well, actually,
There's
no,
8 of us.
it's the 4 of you plus the 3 of them, and then Arwen walks in with a kind of brawny-looking female monkey ferox, kind of like shaggy, or not shaggy, but like well-kept, kind of like blonde hair, definitely street clothes on, carrying a bag and an absolute monster of a great sword.
He sighs very loudly and says, "I'm sleeping in the fucking gardens," and then heading upstairs to put her shit down in the
Good night.
gardens.
You're putting your shit in the gardens.
Yes.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
I have a bedroll. It'll be fine.
Fair enough.
You
Would
do
anyone
you.
else? Would anyone else like to claim any of the beds aside from you?
Is there a door to the gardens? Like, even if it's like a trap door?
Why are you laughing?
A
They're
trap
going
door
to
that you go
lock
up.
it.
No.
A part of me really wants to take the bottom one.
This one.
Why are you laughing about it then?
It's like the opposite one from Kai, the farthest away.
Would you like to take that bed?
You know what?
Yeah.
I think for amusement purposes, it'd be less likely to hear any noise. You know when Kai's polishing swords.
Oh no, you made me rip the page out!
Oh my God.
Polishing
Kai's just like, I don't have any
That's a good
swords!
one. Fendian's like giggling, like, oh my. His cheeks get a little lavender.
I thought that was a good joke.
I assume that's how he blushes.
Go there.
Right, Gab is gonna take a bed.
It sounded like
That's gonna take
squeaky
a-
brakes on a car.
Sounds like my car.
Yeah, but her sister's not often there, and she likes sleepovers.
I was
Maybe
out
I
of
should've gone over
curiosity.
there.
What?
I said maybe I should have gone over there. It was gonna be one of the two. I just didn't know which.
Did you want to move?
Should I or not?
It's your choice.
Are you and your friend sharing a bed?
Good question. Should we? Are we?
It's a queen size bed. It's
Oh, it's a
pretty big
queen-size
bed.
bed.
Yeah.
I'll turn to Luna and ask.
She shrugs. I was just gonna sleep on the couch if there weren't enough beds. But I mean,
There are also couches in the library and downstairs.
if you're offering.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Right, Luna will share a bed with you.
I'll look over.
I was about to say, seeing the Rare kind of like peeks her head in and sees Arwen and Luna kind of setting their stuff up to one bed, turns to the next bed, it's Gab, turns to the next bed, and it's Syl, and just kind of like freezes for a second and is just like looks at the two of them sharing a bed, looks back to Syl and just goes and shuts the door.
Is Kat sitting on the bed next to Kai's?
Yes.
I'll just look over at her and be like, "What? No part 2?
Woof.
The first time wasn't good enough?"
This is why I picked it.
There are other people here.
He doesn't care.
There's actually technically no one else in that room.
I
there
thought
are
we were
other
all.
people
I
there.
thought we were all just like still in the
No,
room.
no, everyone is
No.
is choosing their bed. Just kind of looks over to you and just goes, "Thought I wasn't your type."
Did he say that? I don't remember that.
You made it very
jeez.
clear that you were into dudes only. So she's just like,
I never said that explicitly.
you did make a joke after she like flirted with you that you were just like,
Oh, did I?
yes,
I gotta rewatch that.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
got it.
don't remember that.
No,
Benefits
she's
of having these recordings.
Yeah,
I mean,
she-
it took 60 sessions for Asher realized
thought you
Gaz
said
was
I wasn't your
sovereign.
type. Got all the right parts, but still don't think you're interested in the whole package there, kid.
Oh! You're in the other room. Shut up.
I was going to say, you sense a disturbance in the force.
Can Arwen hear
You're like
me in the
something
other
funny's
room?
happening and I'm not there.
You just hear from afar.
God.
Your dice are not going to help you.
I can't even think of.
She just kind of stares at you, and after like 15 seconds of silence, just thought so, and then kind of goes back to like setting up her stuff more. Rare kind of peeks her head into that room and just kind of looks between the two of you and just shuts that door as well. Goes up to the 3rd floor. Goes up to the rooftop garden to see T, and is just, there's a bed down there if you're interested in it.
What room?
The one
dumbass
to the
room.
left. I would take it, but those couches in the library just look really comfortable.
Who's in there?
The really loud one and the one that actually I don't mind so much.
Which one is which?
I think that's
I'd have
obvious.
to be more specific.
The really, really flamboyant tiefling.
No.
And that human that seemed to have gotten stuck with him.
Wow.
No. I'm fine right here. I got my bedroll and my mouse Well,
And my
rats.
mouse.
And the stalks.
Just a heads up, I know a bit about magic. I'm not sure if you do or not. When it rains, you will get very wet.
So when
Rip.
it rains, I might get to top.
Wow.
Or, you know, there's more than one couch. Maybe once in a while I'll sleep on the couch.
Alright. You enjoy that.
There's a whole ass bed left, guys.
She goes,
Listen.
I was to say, she sets her stuff up in the couch in the library.
God.
If Orin and Luna were in the other room, she might have considered taking that other bed. But the bedroom with you and Kat, no.
We're fun.
I like to imagine.
Yeah, she hates that.
Everybody goes into their rooms and stuff, and Fendine's just like,
I think Sil and
he's
Gab
gonna,
being in there
he's
doesn't
gonna
help
go
either.
back into the bar and wait.
I was about to say, before she exits the room, Gab just like walks up to your bed as you're setting stuff up and just kind of like reaches her hand out slowly before tapping one of the posters of it and just neighbors, and then runs out of the room.
That's wholesome.
That is.
That was in character.
So I was like, what have I done? I left the palace for this!
Still better than being married.
Yes.
Being married is
Yes.
different than betrothed.
Not by much. It's only a matter of time.
Because I know that now.
Get married and then come talk to us.
Who is it even?
Have you come back down to the main floor by now to be saying this? Callie just goes, spoken like someone who's been married before.
I walk away.
Wow. I'll just look at
And
Kat and
just
be,
be aiming
isn't she a
to
charm?
cryptic for each other.
Yeah, she seems out of character. Yeah, she seems like someone that definitely has at least 16 charisma for some odd fucking reason.
Yeah, for real.
15.
God.
I'm not allowed to talk.
This is like a cheese grater, but like a personality, like a cheese grater as a personality. That's what Kat says to you.
I love that. Yeah, and unfortunately, we're the cheese.
Are we measuring charisma scores?
Are we having a charisma score measuring contest?
Look.
Whoa.
All right,
horse
so
is your horse.
I'm sorry, yours is what?
Gee, I can't
17.
wait to speak to
19.
Sandra.
you would. I was about to say at
Well,
your,
then
at,
whip
your,
it out,
at your
Pat.
door,
Which door?
your front door.
Okay.
I'll open it.
It's Sandra. So, is everything to your liking?
Could we maybe get like room dividers or like more beds or
I would ask for a sheet, perhaps.
I can get more beds if you require them. Do you need more beds?
what if you make me a closet?
What?
And I could just sleep in
Oh.
there separate from everyone else.
Oh, you're just interested in being separate from like everyone else and having your own personal private space.
I don't know any of these people.
Fair enough. No, this is a lot more entertaining for me. Sorry, dear.
Can I still ask for a few extra sheets?
For what purpose?
Just in case.
In case he wets them.
I
was gonna hang them up,
One
but
type of quarter and
alright.
If you just need extra sheets already.
I was going to hang them up. Sort of
As a wall decoration.
as a curtain.
Oh, you must not know how they work. Follow me. And kind of drags you back up to the second floor. The windows at this point, as it's twilight, are still letting in a little bit of light. She just, are you ready?
Sure.
Walks up to one of the panes of glass. In the second floor, there is like a really large one that extends from about here to about here. Same thing here. She walks up right to just a random spot, puts her hand on.
Oh, good to know. I
Can
more
we
so.
do that for the roof?
The roof is more of an enchantment, so it lets in sunlight and the elements to help the garden. It just, if somebody fires an arrow at you from up there, it'll just kind of clash against the enchantment, and also they can't see into it necessarily. But if you are standing up there in the rain, you will get very wet, and also possibly, probably struck by lightning.
I did, Thank you for showing us the window thing.
Yes.
But I more so meant like a sheet to like hang as like privacy.
Oh, then no.
Guess I'm going shopping tomorrow.
Is there perhaps a person I can just? I don't need the most advanced of books, but just something to fill at least some of the shelves. Someone to like just get like 5 books in bulk
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting?
I wonder who
from a
has
noble
books.
retailer.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting? The second part, the retailer part.
I believe their friendship sells books, but we can also see if we can get in contact with the library and see if they can maybe lend us some of their
Books.
more fun tomes. After all, they do owe me quite a few favors up there. After all,
Fun.
magical, historical, pertinent.
I
Not
don't
useless.
believe Sylvanus knows what fun is.
He like sort of whispers, but not really. If you call him a friend, he might just give them to you.
You know what? I think you're right. Did not think of that.
You know, we're all friends.
Regardless, we will
All of
Mine's-
us?
seeing this happen. So,
I don't have our deck with it.
so anyway, now that I've shown you that, there's also, if you're concerned about a place to get changed in the washrooms there. There is like almost like a changing room section of the washroom. It's not all like just the shower part. There's like the shower part, and then there's like
Didn't also
places
you
where
and
can go
Kat
in there.
bathe before? So
Didn't we what before?
bathed together before from the story.
Not
we've
together.
heard?
No. We went in there separately. That's
And then you broke it.
She broke it.
I didn't break it.
She flooded it.
Flooded it.
Um,
There's a difference.
so-
It still functions.
Still functions.
So when she
It's just a bath.
when she mentions like,
A
oh, you can
pool.
get changed in the washroom, and basically said like no to like the privacy. Kai just looks at the bed, looks around, and deeply sighs, and then just like throws himself back on the bed.
Alright, so I'm going to need all of you for a meeting now, if you are still interested in talking.
Are we going back downstairs, or are we sticking up here?
We are coming to my office.
Don't.
Very well.
All right, I guess we'll go.
I leave the like door like cracked a little, like stick like a rock or something to the roof, and then leave Mosh out there. So like if it starts raining, he can come back, but like he can just run around.
A mouse running
Just
around
like-
the
Can
house.
you imagine like a hawk sees it and then like bounces off?
Wait, you can't see through the roof though.
That would have been just so great.
No.
I'll be in deep shit if that thing dies.
You're like, that's actually gruff.
The hawk just.
It's not mine.
So she brings you down to her office. She kind of sits you all down. Afterwards, she returns to the door.
Mhm. Could we maybe? Well, is there a window in here?
No.
Could we maybe not do that? Or just lean against it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It must be important.
It's fairly private information. After all, this is the one that concerns you the most. Is it not?
I mean, I don't know that for sure.
So, you do a quest, and you've managed to piss off the guild. Congratulations on that, by the way. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people here in the Dust Town that would like to thank you for doing that.
Well, if they're anything like the lot that we faced, or like the one that cornered me in an alleyway,
There are many members of the guild that are most likely significantly stronger than the ones that you have encountered, but still not of any better character, so to speak. But as far as that symbol goes,
Which one?
this one.
indeed. Back about 25 years ago, there was
I keep notes of the timeline.
Well spotted. Back about 25 years ago, there was a group that referred to themselves as the Black Rose. It was a group that seemed to work in the shadows of the city and ultimately culminated in the resurrection of one of the champions of Baal, who went on a murderous rampage through the city before he was finally put down by a group of adventurers, heroes, much like yourselves, who referred to themselves as the Rose's Thorn.
Sorry, to resurrect who?
Tried to resurrect a champion of Baal.
Did you say the heroes referred themselves as?
The Rose's Thorn. Sort of the thorn to the Black Rose. At the time, Baal was one of the 16 gods and goddesses who ruled over this realm, though after that stunt he was removed from power. But the heroes were able to stop them. It was a small group of heroes, led by my mother. And so, upon the defeat of this champion, the city was restored to order. The organization of the Black Rose fell apart, with only a few pieces of it left remaining alive, though those remaining pieces would find each other once more in the shadows and became the Guild. And while for the first few years the Guild was just another thieves' guild, just another organization that thrived in the shadows, that picked on those less fortunate or less strong than them, about 20 years ago they came into a large amount of manpower as well as a large amount of power in general. And it seemingly overnight the organization doubled, tripled in size. And that was when the true mass takeover of the criminal underworld of Baldur's Gate began, yes.
Is it your mother that leads the Flaming Fist, or one of the companions?
My mother no longer leads anything.
I see.
Thanks.
Can I say that in character?
Very, very quietly.
Simply part of the job, as it were. But
do you know who does? I'm sorry to.
The Flaming Fists.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Falls to one of the councilmen.
Yes, I know that, but name of some sort. I mean, if the guild is strong and it's obviously remnants of the Black Rose, we need to gather manpower as soon as possible.
Yes, but that is the point. Is once the guild was formed, at that point the Black Rose had completely fallen apart. It was an organization that no longer existed. They used that same symbol, except without the thorns on it. Those are the 4 thorns on it are new. But other than that, same symbol, same name. And so I am curious why they would be coming back now. Because the only ones who know what it are myself, the 6 heroes that are still alive, I presume, that made up the Rose's Thorn, and 3 of the members of the guild who survived from the old organization. That I have heard they have not broken off on their own, and so it seems as though someone has sort of reformed this organization from nothing. Based on what it did previously, you can understand my concern upon seeing it, as this is something I thought had been permanently dealt with. But
perhaps the 4 thorns mean perhaps 4 leaders or 4 lieutenants, maybe each one's a cardinal direction of some sort in part of the world.
Possibly. Truthfully, I do not know. But I wish I did have more information, but alas, that is my extent of my knowledge on the Black Rose. It is an organization that I thought dead that is apparently quite alive.
That's a familiar feeling.
Maybe it was just somebody trying to scare her.
Do you have any other notes about the rose, or just that one?
This was found with an item that belongs to the person that I am looking for.
As I said, that is certainly an ominous sign.
I'm gonna show her this symbol. My handwriting's horrible, but you know what I mean by this.
You show her the note with that symbol on it?
Yes.
She reads it over and just, that is definitely the sign of the guild, so you definitely have certainly pissed off a powerful animal here in Baldur's Gate. That note specifically, X, is what the leader of the guild refers to himself as. So, if this is indeed a note...
Got the leader after you guys. Oh.
Yeah, you're not the one that wants to be kidnapped by them.
Why would I want to be kidnapped?
Sarcasm. Learn it.
So the leader
Politeness,
of the
learn
guild
it.
is after us. Oh, dang.
It would appear so.
Sylvanus, we're in the shit now.
Like I said, it seems we are strange bedfellows for this.
I can't hear you.
It seems we are strange bedfellows for this.
Got you. It's a weird
Well,
way to put it.
I did not sign up for this shit.
Alas,
I don't think anybody signed up for this.
very few often do. It will simply... It interests me. You all have been brought together for some purpose or another. Perhaps it is fate, the will of a particular god or goddess, or perhaps you have simply been set on a path and you are choosing to walk it yourself. But I'm very curious to see how you fare, and if you rise, or if you fall. Regardless, should be most interesting. I will be happy to play the part of observer.
Wait.
Comforting.
And certainly someplace to give you a nice roof over your head and a nice hot meal when I can.
Sandra,
Indeed.
25 years ago you said this was, and the
Yeah.
council was formed 23 years ago. What happened between those 2 years? Was it a 2-year long war between these two factions, or was it something quick and then nothing?
Once the champion was resurrected, it lasted only for a day, but it was a battle in the city that raged for a whole day, almost 24 hours. Once it died down, everything slowly came back to normal, though that's when it was decided it was evidently part of the original royal family of Baldur's Gate before there was a council installed that helped facilitate the resurrection of this champion. And so they died in the resulting fight as they fought alongside the champion of Baal. And with that, the old castle was torn down, the new castle was built up, and the councilman system was put into place.
Do I remember that fighting though?
25 years ago?
I'm 28.
I would say probably not. That is awful young.
This 3-year-old has seen some things.
But it was the heads that behaved oddly to form the ritual, to make the ritual to summon Baal.
The heads.
Did you not know that?
Oh, yes, sorry. The way you worded it confused me. Out of character, the way you worded it confused me.
That's what I was told,
Yes.
and I wrote it word for word.
So Fendian would be kind of familiar with all of this that happened then.
Yes.
Because of how long he's been there.
Yes.
So not all of this is exactly new information.
No, what you would have known is apparently the royal family was involved in the resurrection of Baal, and once they killed it, they decided, hey, maybe we should be more democratic. Yes, it was evidently the king of Baldur's Gate himself, as well as his 2 sons, that directly oversaw the resurrection of this monstrous creature, as well as a few members of then the Black Rose, and now the Guild. In fact, one of the members that survived had a lead role in the ritual, and now currently still serves the Guild.
Do you know what their name is? Or any defining features?
Defining features? Yes. They had cloaks, black as midnight. They wore sort of a scarf that covered the lower half of their face. The upper half of their face was covered by an old plague doctor mask, the beak and all.
Oh, okay.
Like the fucker that the guy that we killed the other day.
I thought he just had a half mask on. The sorcerer.
The warlock had a half mask on.
Fendian's calling him a sorcerer.
Yes. But yeah, he had a half mask on. But no, the only thing that was ever known about him was his codename within the organization. He was called the Sparrow. That was it.
Hi, Sparrow.
And who was he again? Sorry.
One of the ones who took part in the ritual to resurrect Bale, who evidently escaped in the resulting combat and was one of the three high-profile members of the Black Rose that came back and started the guild.
Interesting.
So that is about all the information that I have for you, unfortunately, but still was something that I felt the need to share. So, any further questions from me? You did not have that when last we spoke.
No.
She's gesturing to... You know what she's gesturing to.
Yeah. I made no sign of hiding it.
She walks around your back.
You could have just asked and I would have showed you.
No need. Ned looks at it. Traces an arcane symbol in the air. As soon as the arcane symbol touches it, you notice the cold tingling get a little bit more impactful and build a little bit until it kind of like sputters for a second, in which case she suddenly ducks, a shard of ice shooting out from the instrument and kind of crashing itself against the door. Fascinating. Maybe this then. Traces another sigil. This one a lot longer, more complicated. When we kind of like lose it, she kind of looks at it again. I have seen something like this before. Once before. Held by one of the heroes, actually, who defeated Bale. A weapon of untold power. Almost divine would be an understatement. Beyond divine. From the very creations of the world itself.
Temporal?
Possibly. As good a guess as any.
Are they still alive?
Indeed. Though, where I know not. But what we did learn of it, what I was able to learn of it, bear in mind at the time I was no more than a child. A prodigious child, but a child nonetheless. A weapon of untold power. In a set, almost. 22 in total. Each with their own name. Each with their own purpose. Each bound to a single soul. Where did you find this?
Sorry, just give me a few moments just to process what you said. That's just a lot to hear. I'm not trying to hide any information, it's just my mind's working over gear right now. It's
Take your time.
just I'm trying to bring up a memory of it. It was a room made for. There was definitely, I don't want to say there was fiendish symbols, but it was a altar that was not desecrated, and it was sitting on it. It was Oh, it was the mission we just went on for Darius.
Interesting. I wonder if it had been sitting there this whole time, or if it simply appeared there, knowing you would find it. You're certainly a fascinating group.
I have questions for you on it. You said you've seen parts of it. What does it do?
Does yours do?
Yes.
No idea.
Who was the person that used it? Like, what kind of person were they? What?
Have you ever seen an Aarakocra before?
Have I out of character? No.
It's like a bird, but more human. Feathers and talons and face like an eagle, but still with consciousness.
Okay.
There was one in the party of heroes, and he wielded a flail.
Okay.
That was much like what you hold now. The same indents present in both the flail and your harp. But never found anything to put in them. He just was somehow able to discover how to use it in its basest sense, and was able to use it as a great and mighty weapon. I believe he still has, well, some of the notes that he found on it are up in the library, the top floor.
So you never heard of this used as a harp, only as a flail?
Well,
I believe
it's one of 22.
I believe they are different artifacts of a sort.
And they're bound to one soul each.
It would seem. So maybe 22 souls in total. Who knows? But yes, I would imagine there may be some connection between the two of them, though they seem to be entirely different objects. His flail was almost imbued with the very essence of thunder itself as he swung it in battle. It was fairly incredible. But I know he, as silly as this might seem, but I did not expect to ever see anything else like it again. So when he discovered a way to find out what exactly it was and what exactly it did, he made notes of it in a book and kept it hidden up in actually the library that is now part of right off of Colette's office, I believe you've met, and was very secretive of it. So as he left it up there, I was the only one who knew that book was there, and it is in part of the library that you cannot access without a special key of sorts. And this might have been foolish of me, but I simply respected his wishes by not looking at it after he left. Simply left it where it lay. Did not expect for the information to ever arise or be of need again. So, when you do visit the library next, she kind of reaches under her cloak and tunic, and takes out a small pendant, sort of detaches it from a necklace, hands it over to you. It is just a simple, plain gold symbol she's holding out to you.
Are you sure about this? You're putting a lot of faith into a stranger you don't know, with information and trusted items of someone of a hero.
Well, it is an item you have found. You are going to keep it, lest you wish for me to strike you down and take it from you.
No, but
you should at least know what it does.
Before I take the key from you, can you humor me with one little request?
If it is within my ability.
Could you just strum a few of the strings? I want to test a theory.
Strum is a string. A single note.
Normal note. I had fear of that. I was hoping that it would actually he would strut himself to show.
It appears maybe an issue with attunement, or you simply possess arcane abilities that I do not. After all, mine are from a very specific source.
I was hoping it was due to rogue bloodlines, but now I think I'm very clear why me and Klett can both play the tones we can.
Perhaps bardic ability?
No, not that. It's we both have someone very dear to us. Their very essence of being is whole to a goddess's whim. The very same one. And we're the only two that can play these notes.
Curious. And to test that theory, perhaps check downstairs with one of the other bards that is sitting there. But I can assure you that if my theory is correct on that, then there would be very good reason why I cannot cause any sound, as that is not where my magical ability comes from. She hands the key over. If you take it.
He was asked one more time, are you sure, before taking it?
If you're going to possess such a item, you should at least know what it does. Seems a little unfair to send you in the world without it, when I could. Besides, call it a show of good faith.
Okay.
I have belief that you all are going to do something extraordinary. Just hope it's good. Do you still have the wormling with you? The wormling that has kind of been like sitting with you the whole time has seemed like inordinately interested with Sandra the entire time you've been talking to her. It kind of reaches down and pets it. He sort of like nuzzles her head up against her. It's a very curious beast you have here. I was not aware that there were any in Baldur's Gate, let alone in your possession.
You got it as a favor from Zenim on behalf of Darius.
And Zenim paid that favor pretty well.
Your group gets more and more interesting by the day. You're so cute, aren't you? And she kind of like leans down and is playing with her. She seems the wormling seems very, very just like immediately attached to Sandra. Yeah, we're not so different, you and I, are you? Nope, guess we're not. Kind of leans back up.
I thought she was like antlers.
She is. Well, I told you my magical abilities not come from the bardic tree. I'm a sorceress. But sorceresses all draw their magical abilities from she kind of like shrugs her tunic off one shoulder, and you can kind of see like right along her upper arm here is sort of like a place where her skin sort of blends into golden scales and then back into regular skin. A more draconic origin for sorcery. But still, I believe that is enough talking for tonight. I do not want to keep you up too long. After all, you have quite a busy day tomorrow, don't you?
I suppose.
Can we get like casks of wine in here, or like just one to get us started?
Then we have to go pick up more from Scary Caves.
I will. I'll send up a. I can probably find a 5-gallon barrel to send up for the night.
God. You lot can find something else now. Okay.
Wow. And for the others,
I'll take a straw.
A straw.
Right. And with that, she dismisses you all back to your room, to your tower. As you enter the first floor of the tower, it is pouring rain.
Nice.
Library.
Yeah.
There's one bed left.
I'll be sleeping in the library.
Suit yourself.
Well, good night. See you all tomorrow.
Actually, there's a couch on the first floor, right?
I think you said it.
Yes, but it's more like
yeah.
it's a love seat. It's probably no
torn up.
more than like
I
3.5
would
feet
offer
wide.
mine because I didn't get really hit.
Oh, it's alright, thank you though.
Definitely not
And then,
comfortable to lay
he
in.
heads out.
The library had one that was like a
Appreciate the
really like
offer.
deep couch, like almost like this
Don't
deep,
want to be a bother.
and like probably 6 or 7 feet long.
Just one. And then
And also some chairs and stuff.
he runs out through the rain.
Well, because Rare will
Did you
take
already
that one, so I might as well
No.
take the one
He said you're not
downstairs,
being
right?
a bother.
Oh, that was
If
nice.
you'd like to,
He
you can
didn't.
certainly
I
do
like to
whatever
think
you'd
he didn't hear it though.
That's fair.
I'll pull it closer to. You said there's like a not a fireplace, but like a hearth or whatever.
There's a fireplace.
Alright, I'll pull it close to the fireplace. And I'll bring Marsh down with, although he would have came in from the rain, but
Yeah. As you go up there, Verge kind of like is looking up. You can kind of like hear the rain pattering on the roof and just kind of like looks over the couch. So, are we gonna cuddle up or are you sleeping in the rain?
I'll sleep downstairs in front of the fireplace.
Your loss. Kind of goes over to the couch.
What time is it?
It's late at night.
That would make things far too complicated for me.
Knowing what time it is?
No.
Oh.
I'll would you say there are like bedside tables next to the beds? Candles maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. No. I'll climb into bed and light a candle and I'll like write in a journal for a little bit before I tuck it back into my bag and go to sleep.
Everyone seems pretty interested in sleep at this point. In fact, by the time you get up there, Cat is already, Cat's already asleep. Gab is already asleep, and Luna is like haphazardly, like her right arm like dangling off the side of the bed, just kind of like face down into the pillow. Just
Nice.
Bed.
Yeah.
Once everyone started settling in, I would write 2 letters, spoken through model, and like shove them in my bag for now, but with the intent of sending them to home. Not the ones that I already had, but 2 new ones.
So, this is just a packed thing. So I can say that I've done it, and that doesn't come into question later. I'm gonna do the ritual because it takes like an hour to make my weapon, my packed weapon. I'm assuming he would just kind of like know, because it's like a thing that he has now.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna make my sword disappear.
so, do you return home to your bookshop?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a familiar large figure on the couch, as well as 2 more like body-shaped figures in blankets, heads on pillows, like directly in front of the couch.
Fendian's smile he's been keeping up like the whole day like melts into
Aw.
a very uncharacteristic scowl. He's just like he locks up everything. He picks his way like over everybody. And then he just goes in his room, does the ritual, and then goes to sleep.
Anybody else doing anything before bed?
I was just asked Sandra if letters came in for Sylvanus, but I doubt so.
No, just 2 individuals stopped in asking about if anyone had seen you or your whereabouts. I told them where to shove it.
Could you tell me though
In the
if you
suggestion
see
box.
a wolf ferox, if there is anything that can put fear into anyone, it would be that woman. Scars on her face, very like just has an aura of, we'll say, heroic quality.
I will certainly do my best to keep her in mind.
Thank you.
I know a similar Ferox. Well, not a woman.
Do you do anything else before bed? Asleep. You're going to bed with Mosh after you write your letters. Anything for you for bed? Alright, and with that, everyone goes to bed. Anxious for what the next morning will bring, as it will bring your meeting with the councilman and quite possibly answers finally for Syl's frustrations.
Just keeps mounting
Oh my
along.
questions.
But unfortunately, you are going to have to simmer on that for another week, because that is going to end us for tonight's episode.
Dingleberg.
And Sue. So, that brings us out of this week's episode. Leaves us in a very good spot to have an interesting bit next week. Probably start off with a bit of roleplay, maybe get to some fun stuff in the later part of the episode, but we'll certainly see. So, everyone had a good time? What did you think? We enjoyed not having combat for once, lots of RP. Getting to meet some interesting characters.
Lots of getting teased.
got a new pet. I will have your pet stats to you by the time next week starts as well.
Sweet.
So actually,
Splendid.
what we are going to do is actually we can do this right before we go off camera as one final thing.
Yes.
We'll start with you two,
Oh.
and then we'll slowly worm our way around the table. Get it?
Worm.
our way around the table. Oh man, I'm so funny.
Oh,
Alright,
worm.
Stop
Also,
it! You don't get to roll damage.
You take 4 psychic damage.
We didn't mention this earlier, but we're doing companion for that. So it's going to be like a part of our team. Like Liz
Yes.
can explain it
And
better.
yeah, sort of like the sidekick role that that was introduced through Unearthed Arcana. I'm augmenting that in order to be their dragon. So out of combat, I will be playing the part of your dragon as just an NPC, but in combat, I will not be touching her. She will be controlled by one of you, and the way that we're going to decide who does this first, because it's going to be controlled by one of you a week, and you will pass control of that as we move. The two of you will start first. Roll me each a d20. Whoever rolls higher wins.
Ready?
Yep.
10.
9.
All right, so you win. Audie, you are out for now. Now it is you versus.
Oh, I see.
Now it is you versus Maddie.
It's like mashing M&Ms together to see which one's the strongest.
Boy.
That is also a 9.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, Maddie wins that one. Now the two of you roll together.
I'll take the fail. I'll go last of the 5.
Nope, roll.
Yeah.
I've erased so much part things, keep in mind. 5.
Wow.
Is that 20?
Yeah, it is.
Hey.
All
Wow.
right, and finally, you two roll.
No,
Nope, not you,
Me.
Pat.
Wait.
Maddie.
it was
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Whoops.
4.
14. Damn it!
All right, Ash, you're going first. You get to control the dragon first. Starting next week, I will
You
get
wanted
you.
to wear it the whole session. You said, "Damn it," when you won.
I will get you the stats for
It's
that.
only fun to
but
wear,
You'll have
it's not
a
fun to
whole ass
control.
companion now.
It's fun as an accessory.
Not as a pet.
Now I have to.
Disclaimer: I love animals. The kind is not.
I love animals. T also is not the biggest
So,
fan.
with that,
Bonding.
with that in mind, that is going to bring us to the end. Thank you all for watching.
Yes,
We
thank you.
appreciate you. We love you very much. And until next Saturday, we've been the Unlucky Few. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be live streaming starting November 9th at twitch.tv/TUFDND. If you want more content or updates from us, feel free to follow us at Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, all at TUFDND. Links in the description below. But from all of us here at The Unlucky Few, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.